State is Stephen Baker. Baker at the 45, 40, look at him go, 30, and he's tripped up at the 27. Stephen Baker, who was third in the nation last year in punt returns, almost broke it off.
I tell you what, he's a good one. They call him Stephen Baker, the touchdown maker. Last year, he averaged third in the nation, 14.3 per carry.
That was a 37-yard punt and a 28-yard return.
Your evenings in paradise.
I just need you to help me deliver $500,000.
With Tom Selleck as Magnum.
You left $500,000 in a crate on the side of the road?
It was ransom money, and those were the instructions.
Dan Cook was murdered. And I'm going to prove it.
The adventure begins at 7 Monday, September 15th on TV 26. Be there. Aloha.
Clovis Honda has moved to what is probably the largest motorcycle and Honda product outlet in the Valley and features total service from a vast parts inventory to a factory-trained service team. One of the many specials at the new Clovis Honda is this EM650 portable generator with a 4-stroke engine, exclusive oil alert system, and fuel capacity for up to 5 hours of continuous operation. Yours right now for only $297. Don't miss all the specials right now at the new Clovis Honda, 727 Clovis Avenue near downtown Clovis.
A couple of carries by James Williams picks up the first down for Fresno State at the 17. First down at the Montana State 17. No score. We've played almost 5 minutes of this first quarter. Kevin Sweeney fires in the flats, and it is no good. He was going to Stephen Baker. The pass was underthrown to Baker.
Take a look at Baker, and we'll see Kevin Sweeney on his drop back there. You see he's looking to the right all the way. Timing's been off just a little bit, all leaving that time. It's a little bit underthrow. Baker tried to come back and get it, but it's all for naught.
Baker goes wide to the right side. And now James Williams lines up as the tailback out of the eye. 2nd and 10 from the 17. Kevin rolling out, gets a good block. He may run it at the 10, out of bounds around the 6. Bob Kimball, the free safety, running Kevin Sweeney out of bounds. But that'll be 1st and goal to go for Fresno State. That's one thing that Kevin does so well. He is a very mobile quarterback. Sure, he can throw the bomb and throw long and throw underneath, but he also runs very well, as he just demonstrated.
Certainly did. He likes to throw the ball. We saw flashed on the screen there, though, those statistics. 8,075 yards and 1 season to go.
1st and goal for Fresno State. The ball is at the 6. Lone running back. Well, now they switch into an I as Williams becomes the tailback. In motion goes Taylor. The give is to Williams. Inside the 5, stacked up at the 4. Ken Lang, an inside linebacker for the Bobcats, in there on the stop.
And here's the way it looks here down there on the field with the big boys. James Williams, the running back, carrying it there, getting a good block from that young line from Fresno State. Williams gained 1,017 yards last year, the first back to do it at Fresno in 33 years.
2nd and goal. The ball just inside the 4-yard line. Again, the Bulldogs line up in the I. Sweeney wants to throw. May run it in. Kevin Sweeney is knocked down at the touchdown. Looked like his knee might have touched at the 1, and clearly Rob Pouliot, the strong safety, thought he had him, but the official said, his forward motion carried him over the goal line. Touchdown, Kevin Sweeney from 4 yards out on the rollout.
And there's the roll. He's looking for someone all the way, but right now he's already discounted the fact that he might be able to run it in. There's the hit by Ken Lang, who bounces him some, but Sweeney manages to stay on his feet there and just sneak it over the line for the TD.
Barry Belli will attempt to tack on the extra point. His career at Fresno State, Belli has made 59 out of 62 from the hold of John Swinning. Good, right through. Barry Belli, the junior from Bakersfield, makes it 7-0 Fresno State, and we have played a little over 5 minutes of the first quarter.
Well, when you come to Long's Building Supply, you can expect to get taken care of. An experienced salesman is going to come up and ask if you need some help, and they're going to stay with you until you're done, until you no longer need any help. We give that good price, and we expand on that and give them the good service and the good quality. And in the long run, that's what counts.
The congressional record shows that Alan Cranston voted against the death penalty for terrorists who kill with explosives.
Alan Cranston did that?
It's a fact. And he voted no on the death penalty for hijackers who kill innocent victims.
Alan Cranston did that?
Yes, and he later voted against the death penalty for murder, for treason, and for kidnapping.
Why would Senator Cranston do that?
The congressional record shows that for 18 years, Alan Cranston has voted against or missed virtually every tough law on terrorism.
Ed Shah, a great senator for California's future.
Kevin Sweeney got the touchdown, but the play that set it up was that 28-yard punt return by Stephen Baker. Everyone talks about Kevin Sweeney and his passing, and he's thrown for 51 touchdown passes in his career at Fresno State, but he also has rushed for 8. Number 8 you just saw. It'll be Kurt Copeland at the 4. Copeland to the 10, 15, Copeland to the 22, 23, and stop there. The tackle on Copeland made by James Rivera. The Bulldogs, starting off in 1986, the way they wound up the 1985 season. Remember, Fresno State averaged 39 points a game, the nation's #1 scoring team in college football last year.
And the Montana State Bobcats last year scored 83 points in one game when they beat Eastern Oregon.
However, 4 times in last season, Montana State had 50 or more points scored against them. Well, they got to improve that defense. Kelly Bradley throwing over the head of the intended receiver, Jamie Todd. Last year, they had a 5-2 defense, the Bobcats. This year, they've gone to a 3-4 alignment to try to tighten it up.
Talking with Coach Dave Arnold, he says they're going to gamble more defensively, but on the offensive side, they're going to use a short, deceptive passing game and do a lot of fade passing. That's where the backs come out of the backfield or the receivers don't attempt to go deep because they don't have that kind of speed.
And Don Perkins, Montana State has a lot of injuries to their backfield core. The running backs are all banged up pretty well, so about the only offensive weapon they might have would be the forward pass of Kelly Bradley. 2nd and 10, penalty marker dropped. It could be a delay of the game. Once the referee spots the ball at the line of scrimmage, a team has 25 seconds to put the ball in play.
That is a dead ball, delay on the offense.
Thank you, Mike Pereira, the referee. Let's see if they'll take the penalty or the down. Line of scrimmage was the 23. The Bulldogs will take the penalty, which moves the ball back to the 18. Now it'll be 2nd down and 15. We've had 3 penalties against Montana State in the first 5 minutes and 10 seconds of action. 3 for 15 yards. In motion comes Copeland. Bradley under heavy pressure again. He's going to roll out and unload, and he throws it out of bounds. Jethro Franklin putting the pressure on Kelly Bradley, as Bradley that time was trying to hit his wide receiver, Dwayne Baker, and he overthrew him. The quarterback matchup so far, Bradley is 1 out of 3, Sweeney 0 for 4. But the bottom line is Fresno State leads in the game 7-0. 3rd down 15 for Montana State. Ball is on the Bobcat 18. Jamie Todd is wide to the right side. Split backs for Bradley. Bradley steps up, puts it off to Copeland. He's at the 20, and Copeland is stopped at the 22. Talk about gang tackling. Michael Stewart led the charge, but a lot of other Bulldogs had a piece of the action, namely Byron Nichols.
And here's a decision by Bradley. He really does the right thing. He could have run the ball, but why not toss it off to one of your back there and let him get the headache? And that's just what Michael Stewart does right there. And all Pacific Coast Athletic Association senior defensive back last year.
Mark Page, a 6'2 junior in punt formation for Montana State. Now a little high, but he gets it away. Nice spiral, sending Baker back to the 44. Baker picking up some good blocks. Here he comes. Penalty marker down. It's the 40, the 30. Baker to the 20. Baker to the out of bounds at the 10. But a penalty marker was dropped. What a thrill he is, Stephen Baker. Looks like they're going to bring it back because the penalty marker was dropped right at the 43.
You know, Mickey, he's had this happen to him a number of times. We'll look at Baker right here, taking it. You're going to see there's the clip right there. Baker continues. Clip was done by number 35, Jay Wilkerson. You see the culprit? Anyway, you're seeing the return there by Baker. He had 5 of them called back last year that he had scored on.
Good point. The flag was dropped at the 43 of Fresno State, and here is the walk-off by the referee. 7-0, Fresno State.
On the return, flipping on the receiving team, first down.
Well, the sellout crowd here at Bulldog Stadium disagrees with that decision, as you might expect. Temperature, I see, is dropped now to 85 degrees, so it's cooled off in the last half hour or so. Sweeney will put it up in the air. It's going to go long, and he's going to go deep for James Williams, the receiver. Tyler Winter made the catch. There are 2 James Williams this season for Fresno State, the running back and the receiver, and you just saw the receiver. He is a freshman from Coalinga, and Jim Sweeney says he can run a 4.4 40, and that's on grass, which translates to about a 4.2 on a track.
A 46-yard completion that time, and Jim Sweeney is really high on this young man. Might also mention that Kevin Sweeney only needed 21 yards to move from 12th to 11th, an all-time total offense, so he's already moved from 12th to 11th and going up.
You can see it's apparent that no one on the Montana State team has any speed to keep up with Baker or even James Williams, the receiver. Sweeney doing a nice dodge act, and Kevin gets to the 25. A pickup of 1. Tom Jacobs lowered the boom. Jacobs, a 255-pound junior from Wilmar, Minnesota. They say that Jacobs bench presses 425, and he pressed Sweeney to the ground at the 25. 2nd and 9 now for the Dogs at the 25 of Montana State. 7-0. Fresno State leads thanks to a 4-yard rollout run by Kevin Sweeney. In the slot is Taylor. Sweeney across the middle, bobbled and dropped. Let's go down on the sidelines to Vic Jacobs. Hello, Vic.
Arms. Coach Dave Arnold was up in arms to the refs, complaining, even cursing the refs because they were letting these outrageous clipping penalties go on. He was complaining, saying these things cannot go on because it might cause permanent injury. That's why Coach Arnold was so upset at the refs a few minutes ago. Back to you guys in the booth.
3rd down and 9 at the 25. This is Mike Walden along with Don Perkins. 7-0 Fresno State. Just under 8 minutes left in this initial quarter. Sweeney looks to his left. He's going to have to hurry. Steps up, and what a grab made by Baker at the 12. He had it and then dropped it. It was a fingertip catch, but he couldn't hold on. Baker is only 5 feet 9 inches tall, but he really climbed the ladder and almost made a great catch. Watch it again.
Did a real good one, but number 9, Tyler Winter, is part of the reason that he can't hang on to it. Watch there, number 9 coming in, Winter from Montana State. Otherwise, he would have pulled it off. A good effort by Baker, but just too much defense.
We'll get a field goal attempt by Barry Belli. This one would be from the 32-yard line. A 42-yard field goal attempt by Belli. That should easily be within his range. Strong foot, and it is good. 42-yard field goal by the junior from Bakersfield, Barry Belli. And the Bulldogs now take a 10-0 lead over the Bobcats of Montana State.
The way I see it, people used to know about nature, respected it. Then they figured they'd try to make it better. Take beer. Can you imagine why anyone would want to add anything artificial to something that just comes naturally from ingredients like grain, water, barley, hops? Neither can Coors.
These days, to keep your lawn and yard looking good, an automatic sprinkler system isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. And all you need is a short weekend to assemble and install a sprinkler or drip system design free by O'Neill Irrigation. Just bring in your yard measurements to our experts. They'll design your landscape and new sprinkler system. With the purchase of a system, we provide all the drawings, instructions, and parts you'll need to do it right the first time. We'll even recommend a trenching service. O'Neill Irrigation, free design, free delivery, and #1 for low prices. O'Neill Irrigation on Sierra, just east of Blackstone.
If this is any indication, the Bobcats of Montana State from the Big Sky Conference are in for a long night here in Fresno.
Could get a little touchy here. Still in the first quarter of play.
And already it's 10-0 Fresno State. 4-yard run by Kevin Sweeney and a 42-yard field goal by Barry Belli. It'll be Belli to kick off. Mark Reinhardt at the goal line. To the 10. Reinhardt 15, 20. Down he goes at the 24. And the tackle on Mark Reinhardt made by Greg Williamson, the defensive back for the Bulldogs, who also works with the special teams.
I think we may look for Montana State to start mixing it up a little bit more. They run a double tight end situation where they put number 95, Joel Grace, on one side, and on the other side they have number 43, Mark Powell. So we'll look for that little bit of deception.
Right now they have Todd wide to the right side and Kelly Davis wide to the left. It's a draw. Toby Petty, the ball carrier, and he gets exactly 1 yard. Anthony Nunn, who wasn't out of that lineup long, the 244-pounder, put the pads to him and dropped him. Gain of just 1. That was the first run from scrimmage, by the way, by Montana State. 2nd and 9 at the 25. 10-0 Fresno State. Pat Bergman goes wide to the left this time for the Bobcats, and Kelly Davis is wide right. Running backs are Copeland and Petty. Long count by Kelly Bradley. Too long. And another delay of the game. That's typical, though, in the first game of a college season.
I think so, and they're having more than their share of problems. Well, we didn't get the audio that time from the official, but it was delay of game that time against the Montana State Bobcats.
And the penalty will move the ball back to the 20, making it 2nd down and 14.
2nd down.
Number 13 in your picture next to Dave Arnold, the Montana State coach, is a backup quarterback, Kelly Sherwin. He's charting the plays there on the clipboard. 2nd and 14 from the 20. Bradley unloads, and he completes it to Petty. Toby Petty is up to the 30. A gain of 10, and the tackle was made by Michael Stewart and Greg Williamson.
And that's the kind of thing Coach Jim Sweeney talked about maybe happening an awful lot tonight. Those nickel and dime kind of passes. A lot of short things to the backs coming out of the backfield. Little crossing patterns, but nothing deep, as I mentioned earlier, because they just don't have the speed to compete with Fresno State.
That's the reason that Bradley was so successful in 1984. Of course, Fresno State in that game when the Bobcats won 35-31, they were really banged up. They had just a few healthy bodies for that game late in November of 84. Bradley sprinting to his right, looking. Now he's going to have to run it, and he's trying to get the first down. Out of bounds near the 32, and he had to go to the 34 to get a first down, so he'll be shy by a couple of yards. It was Mark Olson, the nose guard, who ran him out of bounds.
Taking a look at it again, Mark Olson's doing an excellent job. He came on for the All-PCAA Chris Pacheco, who graduated last year. A great nose guard, and Mark Olson is doing a good job of filling in for him. Right there, driving to the sideline.
Well, Olson led Fresno State in total tackles for losses last year, despite the fact that he started just 4 games. He's quite an athlete. Mark Olson, 6'4", 243, a senior from Santa Barbara. Mark Page will be called upon with Stephen Baker dropping back deep for Fresno State. And whenever it's a punting situation, the Fresno State fans come alive, waiting for Stephen Baker to dazzle them again.
Oh, he's exciting.
It's 10-0 Bulldogs over Montana State. We have 5 minutes and 40 seconds left in the first quarter. The center for Montana State. Ellinghouse. Oh, it's a bad punt off the side of his foot. He shanked it. It goes out of bounds around the 43 or 42-yard line. He really sliced it. Looked like my hook off of the 5th green. And I'm putting.
Maybe he was looking at Stephen Baker also, intimidated by the fact that he can run him back.
Yeah, that's a good observation, Don Perkins. So the ball will be placed down at the 43 of Montana State. Great opportunity again for the Bulldogs. 1st and 10 at the Bobcat 43. Gene Taylor sprints out to the right side. Baker is to the left. The split backs, Mosley and Gene Williams. The pitch is to Taylor at the 39. Taylor to the 35. A gain of 8 yards by Gene Taylor, the senior from Oakland, California.
And that's kind of the way I like to see and have become used to seeing the Fresno State passing attack go. Just like that, Sweeney dropping back, finding Taylor. So far here in the first quarter, we were having an awful lot of scrambling by young Kevin Sweeney, and that's not normally his game style as we look at head coach Jim Sweeney there.
It's 2nd and 2 for the Bulldogs. This is Mosley. He's got a first down and then some. He may have a touchdown. It is Williams. 10-5 touchdown. James Williams. James Williams exploding for 35 yards and a touchdown.
Take a look at it again. A little misdirection there. Does a counter step to the left, goes to the right, and now you're going to see him reverse his field there as he breaks through the line of scrimmage, going all the way back to his left. Ran for over 1,000 yards last year. I mentioned earlier, the first running back in Fresno State to do it in 33 years.
James Williams had 13 touchdowns for the Dogs last season. Gets his first one of 1986. The extra point by Barry Bella. And it's now 17-0 Fresno State. We are still in the first quarter. Under 5 minutes left in the first period.
You've just unchained your new Toyota 4x4. You've turned loose 135 horses of pure turbo power with high-running ground clearance and independent front suspension. So when you get it home, maybe you better cage it. Toyota 4x4s, starting at $89.98. The #1 selling compact 4x4 trucks in America. Who could ask for anything more?
From a sea of choices rises a new wave of taste so refreshing nothing else comes close. Catch the wave. Coke.
It's the mark of a championship team when you take advantage of an opponent's mistake. The poor punt by Mark Page. Fresno State made him pay, especially James Williams on the 35-yard touchdown run. And look at that in total yards. Gives you an idea of what a mismatch it has been thus far. Kirk Copeland at the 3. He's to the 15. Copeland in the middle, and the penalty marker is dropped as Copeland goes down near the 22. The tackle was made by Jay Wilkerson. And we will see what the penalty is all about. It's Fresno State 17, Montana State nothing. A clip against Montana State. So the Bobcats can't do anything right at the moment. By the way, we mentioned at the outset it was 90 degrees here in Fresno. The temperature just an hour ago in Bozeman, Montana was 46 degrees.
Isn't that something?
Bruce Parker, who does such an outstanding job as the sports information director at Montana State, said there was a high school football game played last night in Kalispell, Montana. They had 5 inches of snow. 5 inches of snow.
And Bruce also said, win or no, he's glad to be out here in Fresno, California.
Well, maybe he is, but Dave Arnold and about 50 Montana State players are having second thoughts right now. 17-0 Fresno State. Ball is on the 11-yard line. Bradley gives off this time to Kurt Copeland. And Copeland gets up to about the, well, let's see where they're going to mark it, at the 17. Anthony Nunn made the tackle.
6'1", 195-pound junior. They're going to have to establish some kind of a ground game or some kind of an offensive plan. Otherwise, it's going to be a long night for them.
I would agree with that. I just don't think that Montana State has the horses to establish that ground game.
And in all fairness to them, Mike, they've got a lot of injuries.
That's true. That's right. Second down and 4 at the 17. Bradley pulls back. He completes this one out of the backfield to Kirk Copeland. And Copeland gets the first down up to the 27. None on the tackle.
Copeland's kind of the all-purpose guy. We're looking at it from the ground level. He's a 6'1", 195-pound junior coming out of the backfield there. And you see him make a nice move out there, getting outside of Anthony Nunn, the linebacker, who's doing disciplined a little bit, but he's back in the lineup.
Jim Sweeney refers to Anthony Nunn as a black Dick Buckets. That's high praise indeed. Kelly Bradley out of bounds gingerly at the 29 or 30-yard line. Mike Walker running him out of bounds. Walker is a senior from Richmond, California. Redshirted 2 years ago after transferring from the College of Marin.
And that is not Kelly Bradley's game plan there. We're looking at him there scrambling to his right. But he doesn't even look for a receiver. He's getting too much pressure put on him, driven outside by Mike Walker.
Second down and 7 now. The ball is at the 30. Kelly Bradley from Zumbrata, Minnesota, which is up in the Twin City area, Minneapolis, St. Paul. 17-0 Fresno State. Bradley in hot pursuit is eluded. He unload on Bradley, and a penalty marker is dropped. Bradley had thrown the ball, and there's a new rule this year. If a defensive player throws the quarterback to the ground after he has thrown the pass, that's a personal foul. And Franklin really unloaded on Bradley.
Take a look at it again. Now we're seeing the other end of it, the completion and the reception there. Byron Nichols, the cornerback, taking the man out, but here we're going to get a look at it.
Watch number 67, Franklin. Well, you can't see it, but I happen to have my eyes riveted right on Franklin, and he ran into him.
Kelly Davis made the catch anyway, but it's going to be a nice pickup there for him.
And we're getting the red wave across the way from the Bulldog fans in the stands. A sea of red. Penalty against Franklin will move the ball up to the 45.
The passer against the defense, automatic first down.
Now the officials are really going to look for that this year. They think they've had too many injuries to quarterback. And so the official, it's really the referee's responsibility to yell to the defensive player, it's gone, meaning the pass has been thrown. From the 45, Bradley handing off this time. And is there a fumble around the 50-yard line? We'll have to wait and see. It appeared so. Big scramble for the ball as Copeland carried it across the midfield stripe.
Well, just judging for reactions back there, it looks like Montana State got the ball back, and indeed they did. But I think it did come loose there momentarily.
It'll be a second down now, 2nd and 5. The ball right near the 50. Jim Sweeney and Fresno State on top, 17-0. Jim Sweeney has some fond memories of Bozeman, Montana, and Montana State. Kevin Sweeney was born in Bozeman. Kelly Bradley trying to pick up a first down. It looks like he just did nose the ball across the 45 to pick up the first down. He was in the grasp of the defensive end, Greg Ramsey. First down, Montana State. This has been the best drive, and of course it was aided and abetted by that roughing the passer penalty against Franklin. This has been the best drive for Montana State.
Far and away their best drive. Quarterback has just not had time. Kelly Bradley has not had time to even look for his receivers very often.
This is the first time that Montana State really has been in Fresno State territory. Davis is flanked up the side. The give is to Toby Petty, and he picks up a couple of yards. John Corippo, the nose guard, who is filling in for Mark Olson, made the tackle. Carippo is one of those guys you like to talk about in college football. He is a nose guard, and generally expect a nose guard to be 6'2", 240 or thereabouts. Carippo checks in at 5 feet 7 inches tall, 175 pounds. He is number 65. We're looking at O'Leary right now. Maybe we can zero in and see how Carippo does on this play. Look at him. Kelly just did get the pass away to Petty, but the reason that penalty marker is dropped, the reason that play didn't net more, Bradley was under such pressure from John Carippo.
The guy you were talking about, and there he was. Not a very big guy, but obviously very quick on his feet. Let's look at him there right in the middle of your screen. You see him weaving by tacklers, putting pressure on Bradley, who has to just unload it. Gets it out there in the flat for a short gain that time to number 30, Toby Petty.
And the tackle was made by Craig Atade, a defensive end, number 57, from Carmel, California. Atade redshirted last year, which means that he is a junior in eligibility this season for the Bulldogs. 17-0. We still have almost 2 minutes left in this first quarter of play. John Carippo goes out. Mark Olson returns at nose guard. The penalty against Montana State.
Clipping on the offense will replay second down.
And the ball will be moved back to the 43. And the Bulldog is smiling, and well he should be.
Even he knows the score.
17-0.
Wave, red wave. Okay.
Second down, 23 now for the Bobcats. Fresno State trying to give them a different look on defense. Penalty marker is dropped. Could be encroachment. Bradley under heavy pressure from Atade. Gets away from Atade. Bradley throws it away. And Bradley was decked by Jay Wilkerson. But no penalty marker that time because Wilkerson made contact just as Bradley was cocking the right arm forward.
He did it clean that time. Bradley taking a lot of time back there looking for a receiver. Let's take a look at it again. There's Bradley,
Wilkerson.
And there's Wilkerson, and there's the lick, and there's the ball up in about the second row.
I think Bradley has completed almost as many passes to the Fresno State bench along the sidelines as he had to his
We have offside
wide receivers.
on the defense. We'll replay second down.
We've had a lot of penalties here in the first quarter, but that figures since this is the opener for both teams. By the way, next Saturday night, Fresno State will be in action again here at Bulldog Stadium against Pac-10 Oregon State. Minute and a half to go in the first quarter. Mike Bolton and John Perkins with you. Bradley trying to escape. Can't get away this time. Greg Ramsey slowed him up. Then he was polished off by Jethro Franklin.
Good defensive pressure that time by the defensive line. There's Franklin, number 67, going out. Junior college transfer where he was an All-American.
And USC wanted him badly, and Franklin decided he was going to cast his lot with Fresno State, much to the delight of Jim Sweeney. Now we have a third down and 18 for Montana State. The ball back at make it third and 24. The ball back at the 41. Darrell James in the secondary now for Fresno State. Bradley rolling out, completing the pass to Petty, but Petty is out of bounds at the 43. Let's check in now with our man on the sidelines, Vic Jacobs. Vic?
Thank you, Mike and Don. I was telling you at the top of the show that bad blood is boiling between these two teams. I checked it out. 8-84 when Fresno State lost. They went to the locker room and there was barking done by Montana State mocking the Fresno State Bulldogs. So there is bad blood. I talked to players on the sidelines. That barking was a reality, although people are trying to put it down as a rumor. It was a reality, and there will be a lot of points tonight scored by Fresno State. Back to you in the booth.
Page's punt is going to be returned by Baker. Not very far this time. They managed to slow him up, and I guess that's about the only way you can get that elusive guy, to slow him up and get some help. And the Bobcats got some help that time, and Baker could not get away. Although it was Baker's 28-yard punt return that set up the first score of the night for the Bulldogs on a 4-yard run by Kevin Sweeney.
I don't think Baker knows what a fair catch is out there. He never uses that little guy. He's only 5'9", about 170 pounds, but he is quick.
Fresno State with a first down at the 25-yard line in the closing 30 seconds of this first quarter. The Bulldogs leading 17-0. Pass complete to Baker, 31. Baker stutter stepping his way up to the 37. Baker, nice move by Baker.
Yeah, left that great linebacker, and he is a great one, really, for Montana State. Kurt Trevor, number 42. Left him grasping air out there as we look at the clock winding down, 14 and going.
Kevin Sweeney now has completed 3 out of 8 for 66 yards. This will be the last play of the first quarter. First down at the 37, going long and deep is Kevin Sweeney for Baker, and Stephen, even with his blinding speed, couldn't catch up to that one. And Kevin Sweeney really aired it out that time. That had to be a pass of at least 55 yards.
Tyler Winter, the defensive back, was not going stride for stride with Baker. He's playing so far off of him that it's almost impossible to run by.
That's the end of the first quarter from Bulldog Stadium in Fresno, California. The Dogs taking a big bite out of Bobcats in the first quarter.
Taco Bell's combination platter doesn't have salad and Spanish rice. At Jack in the Box, the taco salad doesn't have fresh avocado and real sour cream. Burger King doesn't have tacos with their taco sauce. Speedy's Zapatos does. Come in and enjoy authentic Mexican food at any one of our Valley locations. And kids, pick up your back-to-school Speedy's Zapato t-shirt for only $2.99. And remember, Speedy's Zapatos does.
What's the bottom line in a business computing system?
In accounting, the cost of our IBM System 36 PC doesn't eat up all of our profits.
Production's on time with our System 36, a must in this business.
With our PC network, we're all part of the team.
And where do we keep this powerful system? In some big back room? No. The heart of this new IBM System 36 PC is working at a desktop near you. Available from Online Computers Plus, Fresno's authorized 36 PC dealer.
Fresno State, the nation's leading collegiate scoring machine in 1985 with 17 big first quarter points against Montana State. So, the Bulldogs picking right up where they left off in 1985. Brock Smith comes out wide to the right side. Baker is in the slot. Second down and 10. First play of the second quarter. Kevin going long and deep for Smith. He has it. Brock Smith out of bounds at the 13-yard line. Brock Smith, a junior speedster from St. Louis, Missouri, and Dave Arnold of Montana State must be saying, where did they get all of these sprinters from the track team?
They got them out there by the dozens, and this is a great pass by Sweeney. He's dropping back there, not pressured at all. Leads right over the defender, right into Brock Smith's arms there. Gets a little help downfield. Tony Harris is down there, but nice reception.
And a big reception for 50 yards. Kevin Sweeney to Brock Smith, the pride of St. Louis Knoll. Sweeney in trouble, trying to do a dodge act, and he takes really a hard hit there at the 19, coughing it up. He just did get it away to Mosley, and with some real popping going on down there on the field.
Yeah, I don't think he coughed it up the time, Mike, and you caught it there, but I think he just pitched it back at the last minute. Let's take a look at it again. There he's in all that trouble. Wow, Kevin. That's a little bit of a daredevil back there in that kind of trouble, but Anthony Mosley hangs on to it, doesn't pick up anything.
A loss of 7 on the play. Second down now, and 17 at the 20-yard line of Montana State. James Williams is one of the wide receivers. Sweeney may run this one. Trying to pick up the first down. He's going to be about a yard shy. Stepping out of bounds around the 14. In hot pursuit was Mark Harwood of Montana State. They will spot the ball down at the 14-yard line, so it'll be third down for Fresno State.
That gets a good look at Kevin Sweeney right there. He looked a little winded. Now we see him call timeout there, so I think we are going to have a timeout.
Indeed we are. We have played just a little over a minute of the second quarter. The Bulldogs 17-zip over Montana State.
Listen, if you're looking for a school to train you for a career in something you enjoy, I think you should choose carefully. Compare one school to another. Make a list. Then choose the school with over a 90-year success record. A school that requires only those classes necessary to your chosen skill. A school that placed over 96% of its last graduating class in jobs of their choice. You'll see, there's really no comparison. There's only Healed Four Seas College. The choice is yours.
Last year, an independent firm surveyed over 30,000 new car owners regarding the initial quality of their cars. 143 models were ranked, representing 29 manufacturers. As you might expect, Mercedes-Benz did very well, with 2 models in the top 10. However, Toyota finished first, with 6 models in the top 10, including the first, second, third, and fourth place winners. See the winning quality for yourself at your Toyota dealers today.
Question mark for Fresno State this year, the offensive line. How effective would it be? So far, it's been very effective. Mike Wickham and Jeff Trushell, the tackles. Mike Chulensic, Paul Portese, the guards, Brian Holland, the center. Here's the reverse, Stephen Baker at the 10, the 5, Stephen Baker, touchdown, Fresno State.
Boy, if he isn't something.
They don't call him the touchdown maker for nothing. I call him Mr. Spectacular.
Senior.
From Los Angeles, Hamilton High School out of West Los Angeles Junior College.
5'9", 172 pounds, and he can fly. Good moves, good body control, using his blockers there, keeping his balance, and in for the score.
The quickest player in Fresno State football history. 14-yard touchdown romp by Stephen Baker on the reverse. Belli to kick the extra point out of the hold of John Swinning. And it is good. And the score mounts here at Fresno. It's now 24-0 Bulldogs.
And this is why they call him Stephen Baker, the touchdown maker. Averages 14.5 yards per punt return, 29 yards per catch, and does a pretty fair job of running with the football. Loses the handle there at the end, but he's in the end zone.
Well, he knew he was in the end zone, so.
Yeah, just make it look good.
Absolutely.
Excite somebody.
So far, the Bulldogs have been exciting this throng of well over a capacity sellout of 30,000 with the sale of the firm tickets around. I would guess the attendance is going to be somewhere between 33,000, 34,000 tonight. Maybe. And I know the officials have thought about this. There was a great story today in the Fresno Bee about Fresno State, big-time college football and basketball, and how they're moving up, no longer just a small school. People take recognition now of Fresno State in football, and next year the Bulldogs will open the '87 season at Washington State and then at UCLA, the Rose Bowl.
And if you don't believe they love their football out here, just show up in Fresno.
I know one thing, Jim Sweeney, if he had his druthers, would have loved to have played at maybe UCLA based on the performance by the Bruins back at Norman, Oklahoma. But that Oklahoma team, wow, terrific. The kickoff by Belli. It'll be fielded by Reinhardt, 2 yards deep in the end zone. To the 15. Reinhardt finds some daylight, and he moves well. Reinhardt moving it up to the 27, tackled by Tony Harris. It's 24-0 Fresno State. And we're early, I mean very early in the second quarter. 13 and a half minutes till halftime.
Bulldogs averaged 39 points a game last year, but they're going to top that by far at the rate they're going tonight unless something happens with the Montana State defense. See if they can pull out a stopper here and show us a new move offensively.
First and 10, the ball is at the 27. Anthony Collier is the new nose guard for Fresno State. Kelly Bradley, play action fake. Bradley steps up and down he goes. John O'Leary was in there, and so was Mike Walker and Jethro Franklin.
Thought maybe I might see a new move by Kelly Bradley, the quarterback. He's on a rollout this time. Takes one look downfield, knows there's nobody open, then has to scamper because he's getting pressure. Number 90, Mike Walker's in there.
No gain on the play, so it'll be 2nd and 10. And here's an inside handoff to Kirk Copeland, and that works pretty well for Montana State. It's going to be close to a first down. David Grayson brought him down. Copeland was able to carry it to the 38 for a first down. On defense, it's Mike Walker, Anthony Collier, and Jethro Franklin, the down linemen. Another handoff to Toby Petty, and Petty goes to the 42. Petty gains 4. Tackle was made by a 220-pound sophomore, Brian Greer from Madera.
Hey, Mike, the Montana State Bobcats now are going without a huddle. They're already spread up and down the line there. Evidently, they've got a series of plays that they're running, and going without the huddle, I think they work for them. 2nd down and 6. Another play action. And this time, Bradley overthrows Kirkland coming out of the backfield. 3rd down and 6. In the secondary for Fresno State, you have Greg Williamson, Michael Stewart, Byron Nichols, and Rod Webster. Linebackers are Grayson, Nunn, Hanneman, and Greer. Bradley across the middle, almost intercepted. He was throwing to his tight end, Dwayne Baker, and Rod Webster, who had 6 intercepted passes for the Bulldogs in 1985, almost had his first of 1986. Baker, the tight end, is a rangy target. He's 6'5", and he goes up there for it, but he's well defensed that time by Fresno State. Yeah, you see there a little bit of disgust. And now the crowd comes alive because Stephen Baker is back awaiting the punt of Mark Page. No, it's not going to be Baker this time. It'll be Rod Webster. They send Webster back. Almost blocked. He still gets it away. Hits at the 30, and it'll roll out of bounds near the 26. That pass, or that punt, was almost blocked by Michael Stewart, and some good alert thinking by Mark Page, doing a nice sidestep. Still was able to get the punt away. 37-yard punt by Page, who made something out of what appeared to be a Montana State disaster. 34,512, the attendance just announced. That's a new record for the stadium here in Fresno. Remember, capacity is only 30,000, but by selling the berm tickets in the grassy area, they got it up to 34,512. Handoff goes to Mosley. Anthony Mosley, a senior from Selma, dances his way up near the 23. Jacobs, Vasquez, and Halverson all have shot at bringing him down. Mosley primarily used as a blocking back. We're looking at him there going back into the huddle, but he can run with the football. Talking with Coach Jim Sweeney, he says he's got a lot of backs. He's got more backs than he really needs this year, but he's going to hang on to every one of them. Including a couple of newcomers by the name of Dean Collins and Kelly Brooks. Right. You might see them before the evening is over. 24-0, Fresno State. Kevin Sweeney throws out here. Grab is made by Taylor, and Taylor is out of bounds at the 33. Tyler Winter covering for Montana State. Boy, he's got good dimensions for a pro player. He's 6'3", a 33-inch vertical leap, 4'5", and the 40. Led the team last year with 30 receptions. You know, we haven't heard much yet tonight, but it's still very early. We have 11 minutes left in the second quarter about Kelly Skipper. And I see that Kelly Skipper is in there right now, and he will line up as one of the split backs along with Anthony Mosley. He's exciting. Kevin Sweeney throwing incomplete to the 49. Tempted catch made by Stephen Baker. He was going for it, but the pass was overthrown away from him. Some doubt about whether Gene Taylor, who got that last pass, would be playing tonight. Looking at Kevin Sweeney's stats there for tonight, 5 for 12 and 127 yards. But evidently Taylor is all right. Had a slight hamstring pull. Coach Jim Sweeney says sometimes you got to play hurt. Kelly Skipper, this is his first carry, and it might be a big one to the 50. Kelly Skipper sidesteps his way to the 41 of Montana State. There he is, the mighty Kelly Skipper.
a sophomore from Eugene, Oregon, just got loose on a 25-yard ramble around the left side.
Good quick feet. Ran for 470 yards last year as a freshman. Looks like he's going to be okay this year as a sophomore. I understand his father's the offensive backfield coach for the New Orleans Saints in the National Football League.
That's absolutely right, Don Perkins. His father has been an assistant coach in the USFL. Also an assistant coach at San Jose State, UOP, and the University of Oregon. Kevin Sweeney going long and deep for James Williams, the receiver. Penalty marker is dropped.
Yeah,
now the question is, will it be offensive pass interference or defensive?
I'm going with defense.
I'm going to go with the offense. I thought I saw Williams pushing off.
Let's take a look at it. Tyler Winter is the defensive back on this one. We'll take a look at the Sweeney ball as it goes out there in the air.
See the shove?
Yeah, I do see it. Yeah. You got me, Coach.
And so they will bring the ball back to the line of scrimmage and tack on the penalty against Fresno State. That's going to be a 15-yard penalty, loss of a down. Mike Pereira, the referee. But Fresno State has so many weapons. You're looking for Stephen Baker. Let's listen to the referee.
We have offensive pass interference. That's a loss of down penalty, second down.
You've got Stephen Baker. You have Gene Taylor. Now James Williams, the receiver, has been added to the cast.
And there's the penalties. 6 for 46, 4 for 50.
Second 25 for Fresno State. Just under 10 minutes left in the second quarter. 24-0 already for the Bulldogs. Kevin Sweeney is going to be sacked. And the sack is made by Bob Kimball. Bob Kimball, the free safety.
He looked like he was shot out of a cannon that time. Nobody slowed him down at all. He didn't break stride as he went in pursuit of Kevin Sweeney and nailed him.
Jeff Skidmore, one of the tackles on offense for Fresno State. Brian Kazarian is in there at an offensive guard. This has been the type of an opener, at least in the first half, that coaches enjoy. Coaches like Jim Sweeney, that is, up by 24-0. You get a look at your personnel. And he is substituted freely here in the first half. Kevin Sweeney is going to go long and deep. He has... He was going for Chris Dugan, who was down there, but the pass was intercepted by Bob Kimball, who stepped in front of Dugan. So that's the first intercepted pass of the night.
And it's probably just as well. We're taking a look at Kevin Sweeney. They're rolling out, waving the receiver Dugan downfield. They had about 3rd and 35 to go on that one. That interception's probably as good as a punt. Here's another look at it. Dugan, the intended receiver, number 24, picking it off. Who's Kimball?
Goes at the 23-yard line of Montana State. Bradley giving off to Kurt Copeland in hot pursuit. And in there to help on the spill, number 69 for the Bulldogs, Brian Greer. Brian Greer, who redshirted a couple of years ago, getting a lot of playing time here in the first half. The new nose guard now for Fresno State is Dave Basalto. He's a junior from South Pasadena. Kurt Copeland taking a breather over in the sidelines for Montana State. Ball is at the 32-yard line. It's 2nd and 1. Bobcats trying to pick up the first down, but Miller is hit and dropped. Miller tried to get the first down. Eric Miller spilled by Chris Reinhardt, a linebacker. And he did. Yeah, he did. I didn't think he was going to get it at first, but they spot the ball near the 34. So he did pick up the first down. The Bulldogs of Fresno State 24, Montana State nothing. 8 minutes left in the first half. Mike Walden and Don Perkins with you from Bulldog Stadium. Scott Newman split off to the left side for Montana State. From the 34, Kelly Bradley is somehow or other got out of there to the 35, and he can't get away. This time, he is nailed by Brian Greer. Brian Greer making his presence felt out there for the Fresno State defense.
How Kelly Bradley came out of that sea of red is beyond me, but I'm sure he thought he was down also, but somehow he did manage to get out, pick up a little yardage before Greer brought him down.
It's second down 9 at the 35. Fresno State 24, Montana State nothing, midway through the second quarter. Bradley across the middle, and he hits his receiver, Jamie Todd. And Todd was hit by Greg Williamson, the cornerback, with some help from Michael Stewart. It's going to be close to a first down. They spot the ball at the 44. First down, Montana State.
Bradley having to throw in a hurry. The only running attack he's got going is Kurt Copeland, who manages to pick up a few yards occasionally. Nobody else is moving the ball. Bradley's having to throw a lot and in a hurry.
And Bradley's team is behind 24-0. The inside handoff is Eric Miller. He goes to the 48. Gain of 4. Tackle made again by Brian Greer. Brian Greer has been in there on a lot of tackles since he's been in there.
They got a lot of talent on this ball club, both offensively and defensively, and a lot of names that if they had the spot to themselves, you could hear them a lot more than we did prank call them.
Mark Olson back in at nose guard. David Misolto goes to the sidelines. It's second down 6 at the 48 of Montana State. Kelly Bradley, the 6'3 senior quarterback, gives it off to Tyler Hubert. Hubert goes to the 48 of Fresno State. And the tackle made by Chris Reinhardt. Had 2 years of junior college ball at Southwestern JC. Chris Reinhardt, number 60. He started tight in place of Anthony Nunn. Third down and 2 for the Bobcats. They have some deficit to overcome, down 0-24. 5.5 minutes left in the third quarter. Here comes Eric Miller, and Eric Miller is rolled to the ground. Tackle is made by Greg Williamson with some help from Jay Wilkerson.
Ground game seems to be picking up a little momentum now for the Bobcats.
Well, they're kind of grinding it out, and you would think down 24-0, but it's still very early in the game.
I guess you can do that if you can shut off the other team defensively the rest of the night, but you better be sure that you can do that.
Wide to the right side. Scott Newman and also Kelly Davis. Third and 2. Bradley will put it up if he can. And he does, and it is intercepted. Jay Wilkerson for Fresno State. Wilkerson at the 30, 35, Wilkerson 40, 45. Whoops, what kind of a move was that? He almost lost his balance and bent over backwards. I've seen a lot of dance steps in my time, but not one quite like that. Put on by Jay Wilkerson.
Well, a
224-pound junior from Costa Mesa. And that was some return by Wilkerson, 20 yards.
Kelly Bradley, looking at it from the ground level, is trying to get it to Eric Miller. And there goes Wilkerson, the linebacker. He's going to put down his moves and show him that he can do everything that Stephen Baker
watch this move over here. Whoops.
Well, it takes a little coordination to do that.
Yes, we'll have to call him Twinkle Toes. Twinkle Toes Wilkerson. Now the Bulldogs on offense. And look at this run, would you? A nice one by James Williams. Tackle made by Bob Kimball.
Senior running back had a good one last year. Looks like he's off to another flying start this year.
Ball will be spotted down at the 47 of Montana State. Brock Smith goes out to the left. Williams lines up as the I-back, the tailback of the I formation. There goes Williams. Williams running over people down to the 39 of Montana State. That's a pickup of 8 more yards. Another first down, Fresno State. Kurt Timmer made the tackle.
So much offensive talent on the Fresno State ball club. They have everyone back at the skilled position. There's Williams' stats for the night. And we're concerned about the interior line, but they look like they're going to come through.
Mosley and Williams in the backfield. Across the middle. Sweeney right on target and throws it to Paul Flug, the tight end. And the first time that Kevin has gone to his tight end. Flug has had some foot problems this season, but he's in there playing, and he makes a good grab of this rifle shot by Kevin Sweeney. Boy, did that have a lot of mustard on it.
Sure did. Kirk Trimmer was right there for Montana State, but it was right on the mark for Flug.
One of the flankers for Fresno State now is Ron Jenkins. There goes the pitch to Williams. He's at the 30, rolled down at the 27. Rob Pouliot, the strong safety, brought him down. Another first down for James Williams and Fresno State. About 3 minutes left in this first half. 24-0 Bulldogs. Kelly Skipper is the new tailback now for Fresno State. Anthony Mosley right up in front is the fullback. Here comes Kelly Skipper. 25 and brought down near the 24. Good tackle by Ken Lang, who averaged 11 tackles last season for a Montana State team that went 2-9.
Inside linebacker does a good job. A lot of offensive weapons, though, for Fresno State. It's just about impossible to stop them. They've got a lot of speed there. Head coach Jim Sweeney.
By the way, Jim celebrated a birthday on Monday, turned 57.
I knew about the birthday. He said don't mention the age.
Well, when it's in the press book, it's a little difficult, isn't it, to hide that. 2 minutes, 20 seconds. Sweeney across the middle, and a great grab made by Ron Jenkins, and a penalty marker is dropped. Jenkins is a junior from Los Angeles Manual Arts High School out of East Los Angeles Junior College.
Okay, it's right on the mark. Derek Abel there is the defender for Montana State. Let's see what the infraction is. Nice reception there. It's clean all the way. Sure, it's defensive pass interference, but they'll take the ball.
Ball is spotted down at the tee.
Pass interference against the defense is declined. First down.
That who cares at this point?
First and goal to go at the Montana State 3. The Bulldogs already up 24-0 with a great opportunity to get some more. 2 minutes left in this first half. Full house backfield. The guy in the middle is Ron Sim from Miami. Kevin Sweeney in the rollout. Kevin Sweeney is nailed, and down goes one of the officials, the line judge. Not only was Sweeney nailed at the one, but so was the line judge, Don Berberet. Kurt Timmer took out not only Sweeney, but one of the officials.
I don't know. Pops must really feel something when he sees his son take a lick like this, because Kevin Sweeney is such a talent as a quarterback, and to be running the ball in that situation.
Let me pick up on that. Kevin Sweeney really has been hurt only once in his college career. He went out about one quarter against Utah State. That's all. He's been very durable. Here is a touchdown for James Williams, who I think could have skipped in. The hole opened up on the right side of that offensive line. I'm talking about Brian Polland, Paul Portese, and Jeff Skidmore. Great blocking up front, making it easy for James Williams.
Offensive line, that was a question mark, doing the job there, controlling the line of scrimmage. Let's watch Williams there if we can see him all the way through. Okay, he did a little crisscross number there at the end. I don't know if it's a prayer or what it is, right? But he does a little.
We were discussing the injury factor to Kevin Sweeney. His greatest injury came, guess what? In high school, in baseball. He was hit by a baseball bat.
But being such a good quarterback, I still would hate to see him take those links.
Barry Belli kicks the extra point, and the Bulldogs have a 31-0 lead over Montana State.
Your San Joaquin Valley Cadillac dealer invites you to test drive the 1986 Eldorado.
How do you like it, Miss Miller?
Handles great.
Transverse mounted V8 with front wheel drive.
It's really firm in the corners.
World-class suspension. Wow. Mr. Miller, we're a long way from the showroom.
You said test drive the 86 Eldorado at your San Joaquin Valley Cadillac dealer.
Thanks for the order.
It was my wife's idea.
Can you believe the way some fast food places make chicken? It starts out frozen and can end up like rubber. At Kentucky Fried Chicken, the original recipe and extra crispy chicken start out fresh, and they're cooked fresh all day long, so every piece is tender and delicious, finger-licking good.
At Kentucky Fried Chicken, all we do is chicken, so we do it right. Anyone else's chicken may leave you cold.
Kentucky Fried Chicken, we do chicken right.
So Fresno State with a commanding lead now, and Kevin Sweeney has just broken the PCAA total offensive record. It was formerly held by Randall Cunningham, a quarterback at UNLV, and the new holder of that mark, Kevin Sweeney, Fresno State. Mark Reinhardt up to the 15. Reinhardt up to the 20-yard line, spilled there by James Williams. Now you hear about James Williams as a great flanker or wide receiver, but he plays on the special teams as well, utilizing that speed on defense as well as offense.
I'm looking at the Bulldog there. He seems to be, he's into it.
I wonder if he can bark 31 times. That's the score, 31-0.
James Williams does a great job, but I think he gets a little bit of face mask there. We're looking at him right there, number 86.
Oh, yes.
And, you can hog tie him pretty good once you grab that mask.
Against the defense, first down.
Remember, face mask penalties can be either 5 or 15 yards. If you just kind of graze them, it's only 5, and that's what they marched off against Fresno State.
But if it's intentional, it's the big one.
Kelly Bradley will have a first down for his Bobcats at the 25. Montana State 25. Nothing doing there as James Rivera closed down hard on the Montana State ball carrier, Toby Petty. Rivera's a junior from Bellflower who had a couple of years' experience in junior college ball at Cerritos Junior College. Loss of 2 on the play, 2nd and 12. Inside handoff to Kurt Copeland, and he has to struggle hard before he's brought down by Anthony Nunn.
So Nunn, the bad boy who's been disciplined there, we've got an injury on the field. Nunn is back in the lineup. We have one of the Montana State players injured.
It might be Don Leak, an offensive guard. Minute and 13 seconds left in the first half. 31-0 Fresno State.
You don't have to dream of the seas to experience the exotic and mysterious world that lies beneath its turbulent waters. Working in silent perfection, nature has created one of the most beautiful and desirable gems known, the classic and refined pearl. Edmunds Jewelers brings you exquisite pearls from around the world. Simple, eloquent, natural beauty from the sea. So live the romance of your dreams with wondrous pearls from the Edmunds collection.
It's cleanup time at your San Joaquin GMC truck dealer. And now the big one. 2.9% GMAC financing available on select new 1986 GMC trucks or $750 cash back. Length finance contract is limited. You'll save on the full line of GMC trucks. Small trucks, Jimmys, half-ton, three-quarter-ton, and full-size trucks and Suburbans. Your GMC truck dealer is giving the big one to close out all the 86 GMC trucks. 2.9% GMAC financing or up to $750 cash back. Get more truck for your buck now at your San Joaquin GMC truck dealer.
Don Leak, the offensive guard of Montana State, able to walk off of the field under his own power. And Vasey is in there to replace him, Todd Vasey. 250-pounder, stands 6'6". Scott Newman wide to the left side for Montana State. 3rd down and 7 for the Bobcats. Less than a minute to play in the first half. 30-0 Fresno State. Penalty marker is down. And Kurt Copeland moves up to the 34 before he is brought down. Tackle made by Anthony Nunn and Jethro Franklin. Could have been a false start. Some movement before the ball is snapped. We'll wait and see.
Copeland's been a real workhorse. Coming out of the backfield and catching passes, also running from the line of scrimmage. Look at him take the quick pitch this time for Bradley there. Gets a good lead block from Toby Petty. Not good enough, though.
It's encroachment against Fresno State. And the backup quarterback for the Bobcats, Kelly Sherwin, will mark that down on his chart.
We have offside on the defense. Replay 3rd down.
3rd down and about 2 now for Montana State. Clock is moving. Bulldogs 31. The Bobcats of Montana State nothing. Bradley wings it out here to Petty. Petty is out of bounds at the 39. Michael Stewart providing the escort. That'll give the Bobcats a first down. 24 seconds, still halftime.
Mike, I still haven't figured out the purpose of going without a huddle. They are going to a huddle right now, but for most of the second quarter, they've been going without the huddle as though time was a factor.
Perry Duncan is flanked out wide at the right side for Montana State. Inside handoff, Huber to the 45. Huber gets to the 49. Tyler Huber nailed by Rod Webster, and also a hard hit by Mike Walker. Clock is stopped with 15 seconds till the intermission.
Now, Kelly Bradley must get the scare of his life on this one. Look at number 90 coming in there, Mike Walker. There he goes, right on top of Bradley, but Bradley did slip the ball away to Tyler Huber just prior to taking the lick. Huber's still doing his own battle now downfield.
So now the toll is starting to tell the tale for Montana State. Leak just went out after being racked up. And now Tyler Huber goes to the sidelines for Montana State. He's a running back, and remember, Montana State is woefully thin in that running back core. They left a couple of backs that normally would have played tonight back in Bozeman because of injuries. And Paffhausen is into the lineup for Montana State.
Coach Dave Arnold felt so good about the offensive back situation after spring training because he felt like that was a weak area that had been shored up. But since that time, a lot have fallen by the wayside.
Mark Paffhausen is a new wide receiver. Coming out is Dwayne Baker, a tight end. And sprinting back on the field for Montana State is Kirk Copeland. The Bobcats with a first down near midfield. And 15 seconds left in the half. 2 wide receivers to the left side as Bradley pulls back. Heavy pressure. Bradley goes down. The pressure applied by Mike Walker from Richmond, California, the 24-year-old senior. Walker put the pressure, and Jeffro Franklin put Bradley down. And that's the end of the first half. A very productive first half indeed for Fresno State. The Bulldogs 31 and the Bobcats of Montana State nothing. It's been a case of Fresno State with too many offensive weapons and too much overall speed and depth for the Bobcats from Montana State from the Big Sky Conference. Let's see if we can get some comments from Jim Sweeney before he walks off the field and goes up to the locker room. Vic Jacobs is down there with him.
Okay, thanks, Mike and Don. Coach Sweeney, your impressions of the first half?
Well, we're doing things real well. I wish the punter could kick the ball a little bit longer because we work very hard on punt returns. We'd like to see Stephen Baker do that. Stephen Baker's hurt. I don't know the extent of that. Hopefully it isn't bad, but I think we're playing pretty well. And the defense is playing great.
Happy with the offensive line?
Very good, very good, very good. Picked up everything.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it. Coach Sweeney, he's got to like the first half, leading 31-0. Thank you, Coach. Back to you guys up in the booth.
Well, you can tell how well things are going when you have to nitpick to find something that wasn't quite to your satisfaction. I wish the punter could punt maybe 5-4 yards in distance. 31-0 at halftime.
Who's gonna be at the Silver Bullet tonight?
Sally, don't look now, but he's here. Don't look. And he's sitting at my station. Fran, you owe me. All right. Lou, how I look.
Like Sally.
Coors Light, please.
I'll get your waitress. I'm just not in the mood.
Slowing down with a Silver Bullet tonight.
Coors Light beer.
It can be a cold, icy world when you're looking for a reliable car at an affordable
reasonable price. That's the time to consider the front-wheel drive Toyota Tercel. It's the most trouble-free new subcompact car sold in America. It's Toyota's lowest price car, and it has satisfied over 500,000 owners. That's why when it comes to value, the Toyota Tercel leaves the others frozen in their tracks.
Who could ask for anything more? Toyota.
You ever notice how ordinary unleaded gasolines can make even your new car feel like an old clunker? All that knocking and pinging can wither your youthful enthusiasm quickly. But there is a gasoline that can help. 76 unleaded, the highest octane unleaded regular you can buy.
They're upsetting.
It's 2 octanes higher than most other regulars to help prevent cars from aging prematurely.
The spirit of 76.
An official sponsor of the Liberty Centennial.
Medical research seemed very exciting to me, like being a detective. So when I became a doctor, I went into research at NIH. But after a while, I really missed being with patients. If you like people, you like practicing medicine. That's really it. So sometimes I still feel a bit like a detective.
As a member of Kaiser Permanente, you can have a personal physician, one like Dr. Nicholas Rosenstein. Kaiser Permanente, good people, good medicine.
It's halftime here at Bulldog Stadium, and let's take a look at the '85 Bulldog campaign. It was a planting of seeds, if you will, of a college football dynasty. The harvest of '85, well, it produced a PC 2A championship, the California Bowl, a 16th ranking in the final UPI poll, America's only undefeated major college football team. It was a devastating blend of high-octane offense and clutch defense, fueled by spectacular individual efforts. In the very first game of the season against UNLV, Coach Jim Sweeney unveiled a revamped running game featuring James Williams.
This is my first Division I ball, and at first it was a little shaky because, I was a little scared. And then things started coming around, and the offensive line was blocking really well, and things were just going right for me just that night.
The Bulldog tailback rushed for 156 yards and 2 TDs in an easy Bulldog victory. Against Oregon State, Kevin Sweeney got the passing game into high gear.
Kevin Sweeney's 96-yard touchdown pass against Oregon State had to be a highlight. It had that lights-out bomb. And if that happened in Bulldog Stadium, they'd still be clear in the air. I mean, it would have broken the decibel count. It would have been the Richter. They'd have thought it was an earthquake if the red wave had that to see. The next play, the next series, he threw a 75-yard post pattern. Those were highlights.
After crushing Cal Poly in Game 3, the Dogs entertained a tough physical Hawaii team at home. The two teams battled to a 24-24 tie. It was to be the only blemish on an otherwise perfect record for Fresno State. Game 6, Barry Belli blew to the school record 55-yard field goal and got the team going.
It was tied 7-7, and that kick made it 10-7, and after that, we just ran over them, and they didn't have a chance after that. The whole team just kind of seemed like they picked the whole team up, and we just started playing a lot better after that.
The running game tallied 346 yards and 5 TDs, while Sweeney connected with 12 different receivers in a 48-21 victory over the Aggies. In Game 7 against Utah State, FSU managed only a field goal in the first half, but strong safety Michael Stewart turned the game around in the third quarter with a 62-yard TD romp on a pass interception. The Dogs played one of the most tenacious defensive games, and there were some outstanding individual performances.
In that game, things started clicking for me again. I made a sack, and it seemed from that play on and that game on, my season started coming around. I just went up on an uphill for the rest of the season.
Fresno State remained undefeated going into the Long Beach game, and this is the one they had to win to ensure a trip to the Cal Bowl. Stephen Baker had a little extra incentive to do well that night.
I was going back to Los Angeles, where I'm from, and playing against, people that I went to high school with, and people in the city from Los Angeles that I knew, coaches, junior college coaches, and family came up to see me play, and I had a pretty good game.
Jack Rabbit caught 6 balls for over 200 yards and scored or set up 5 of Fresno's 6 TDs. For the Bulldog defense, it was a grueling game in the trenches.
It was so mentally and physically exhausting. I thought the team, played their hearts out, and we deserved that game. I thought it was a hard-fought game, and I thought that we played like we should win, and we did.
In Game 11, the Bulldogs played to a national television audience and used a potent offense to blow out Wichita State. James Williams rushed for over 100 yards for the 7th time and became the first Bulldog in over 30 years to go over the 1,000-yard mark for a season. Kevin Sweeney broke the school record for passing accuracy in a single game and became the PCAA's career passing yardage leader. But Kevin's favorite game was the California Bowl.
Going into the game, we were built as a team and threw the ball deep, and we didn't have an opportunity early in the game. They were really playing back, not going to let us give the deep ball, and thus we had our running game going, and we were able to move the ball on the ground. And then I think it was our last play together in the California Bowl last year. We threw a long ball, and Stephen caught it, made a great catch for a touchdown, and that was important to me. I think that we showed people that we can play football at that.
Fresno State obliterated Bowling Green 51-7 and claimed the nation's undefeated title by going 11-0-1. In '86, the Bulldogs are looking for improvement. What will it take?
Basically, let's go make us better. Better players. Continuity in the coaching staff. Faith in the program. Confidence accrued from success last year. Goal setting to be better. Players who strongly believe that it is their job to build a stronger bridge upon which better players will play for Fresno State one day and challenge the schedules that are here in the future, help build additional facilities, including more seats in the stadium. Those are the things that are going to make it better.
Last year being a year that we weren't expected to win, but this year being a year where we are expected to win, our goals are just going to have to be lifted up more. And as an individual, I know I have a lot of things as a player, just myself, that I have to improve on. And just for me, it might be getting a couple more interceptions or just playing down and tough when it counts to ensure that we can win. Coach, when he says the only people that really can beat us is ourselves, and as long as we perform with the techniques and the right intensity, I don't think there's going to be any defensive line in the nation that's going to, barring injuries, be as good as we are. I want to be a leader like I was last year. I want to get us in the end zone as many times as possible in the game. And by doing that, I got to execute, and I got to concentrate every down. And I want to. My personal goal this year is to execute every play and to do the right thing every down. And as long as I can do that, I'll be happy the way I play. We are going to try to get the Doug Footy record. Naturally, that will happen in common purpose. We're going to throw the football and give him the opportunity to do it because he deserves it and because his teammates, I'm sure, believe that he deserves it. He is also very fortunate because we have an offensive running game, which is variable, which is trap, which is sweep, and which is counter, and it will take the pressure off him so he can play pass and run the football and get the big plays. Hopefully, he'll have the kind of year we want for him.
Thanks, Coach. We'll have more halftime festivities after these messages.
Beginning September 21st.
Just let me practice the swing. Get that stuff out of here.
They're back and they're all new. It's the lost episodes of The Honeymooners.
Peanuts! What am I going to do with peanuts?
Eat them like any other elephant.
The Honeymooners, premiering Sunday, September 21st on TV 26.
Sweat it out, we know the score. Make it tight, we'll save you more. Rip it, round it, drill it, pound it. We'll help you do it right.
Your project's not like the next guy's. You need what's right. Count on Lumberjack. We got the right lumber for your job in stock and ready to load. Our business is built around lumber. Acres of it. All at the same low price contractors pay, guaranteed.
Don't do it yourself without us.
Lumberjack.
Telesis. It means progress intelligently planned. This is a story of Telesis. Letter to the Consul General, July 1852. I confess that my plan is still a dream. The cutting of a canal through the desert of Suez has been thought to be impossible. Yet the opening of communications between two isolated worlds would be of immense benefit to our civilization. I beg for your support in this undertaking. Yours sincerely, Ferdinand de Lesseps. Pacific Telesis salutes that special kind of progress, guided by those with a vision to see not just what can be done, but what ought to be done. The Pacific Telesis group of companies is committed to progress intelligently planned. That's why Telesis is an important part of our name.
Good evening, Bulldog fans. Welcome back to Bulldog Stadium, where the halftime score is all Fresno State at this point. Fresno State 31, Montana State Bobcats have yet to score. 31-0 at the half. Elsewhere in college football today, a big day around the country, so it's time for Vic's great wall of scores here at halftime on TV 26. Cal State Fullerton, New Mexico State. New Mexico State 24, Fullerton State 21 tonight. Aggies win that one, the first league game right there. Cal State, Long Beach, San Diego State tonight. That's a night game in San Diego. Long Beach State in the second leads the 49ers by 10 in the second. At Washington State in Pullman, Nevada, Las Vegas, under new head coach Wayne Nunley. It's all Cougars. Washington State 34, running Rebels 14, an inauspicious start for head coach Wayne Nunley at Nevada, Las Vegas. San Jose State against the Oregon Ducks. They are tied 7-7 in the second. Meanwhile, Bob Cope's Wishbone in Pacific playing the Western Conference football team, Sacramento State. It's all Wishbone, all Tigers up in Stockton, 31-7. Pacific beat Sacramento. Brigham Young 52, Utah State in a rout today. Elsewhere around the country, in Oklahoma, it was all Sooners, 38-3. Houston at Arizona at night tonight, and it's 23-3 Wildcats. Miami beat Florida 23-15. 42-10 Alabama over Vanderbilt. That's it from the scoreboard here. More halftime festivities right after this.
Take it from an old produce clerk. There is a difference in produce quality. At Vons, we give our produce extra care, and you don't pay more.
Clip this week's newspaper super coupons and save over $2 on breakfast for 6 with Vons large eggs, just 59 cents. Wilson sliced bacon, only $1.29. Vons frozen orange juice, only 59 cents. And Vons enriched bread, just 29 cents. Vons, warehouse prices, no sacrifices.
At Vons, we keep you coming back for more. Vons is the more store.
Since time immemorial, man has battled to be number one. Today, that battle continues deep in the heart of Fresno. Century Ford and Decker Ford are pitted against one another to be the number one Ford dealer in the valley. Their weapons, Rangers. Their ammunition, 2.9% financing, plus the largest supply of Rangers in the valley, with 2.9% financing or up $600 cash back to you. Don't you surrender to high prices. Buy your Ranger at Century Ford or Decker Ford, and you'll march home victorious.
Sheridan Smugglers, Fresno's mobile 4-star rated inn, offers you more than you dreamed at less than you thought. A relaxing pool and spa set in a park-like landscape. And many guest-pleasing extras, exercise and weight room, free satellite TV, in-room coffee, room service. You'll love the life of Sheridan Smugglers.
From the moment you walk on to the 8-acre Paul Everett RV Center, you'll find something unique. It could be the 12-bay service center, or the fully stocked RV accessory store, or Paul Everett's overwhelming selection of name brand motorhomes, travel trailers, and fifth wheels. But again, it could be the people. 45 of the most friendly, knowledgeable people in the RV business. So come on out to Paul Everett's RV Country, Freeway 99 at Central, and just follow the signs.
31-0, Fresno State over Montana State as we are nearing the conclusion of halftime here at Bulldog Stadium in Fresno. I'm Mike Walden along with Don Perkins. And the Bulldogs had everything their own way in the first half. They were able to run the ball, throw the ball. Stephen Baker was outstanding, although we are awaiting word on any possible injury to Stephen Baker in that first half. And I think that comment is borne out by the halftime statistics. Look at the fourth one down. Total yards. Fresno State, 276 to 98 for the Bobcats, and that is reflected in the halftime score, 31-0.
Mike, did I say earlier in the telecast that Montana State always plays well against Fresno State? If I did, I didn't mean it. I was just made that up. You know?
All right, take two.
But in the second half, well, Montana State's really going to have to do something different because they have not been able to move the ball at all on the ground or in the air. A lot of pressure from Fresno State defensively has kept Kelly Bradley from being able to set up at all to even attempt to pass. And the ground game has just been totally ineffective. In all fairness to the Bobcats, they do have injuries.
Yes, and we said at the outset it was the rematch between Bradley and Sweeney. Here's what's happened in the rematch so far. Bradley is 7 out of 12. Kevin Sweeney, 7 out of 16. Not impressive stats on either side thus far.
Not on either side, but it's the first game of the year. They were both a little rusty, a little anxious, I imagine. But I think things will pick up here in the second half. It's just going to be interesting. And the thing that Montana State has to do is they have to be able to generate some kind of offense. Otherwise, they're going to be back in their own backyard the entire second half, and we'll have a runaway here.
That's going to be difficult to do against that tough Fresno State defense. We'll be back with the second half. The score, Fresno State 31, Montana State nothing. This game is brought to you by Coors and Coors Light. The beers with the difference worth tasting. Coors to you, Bulldogs. And by Toyota and your Central Valley Toyota dealers. Toyota value and Toyota reliability. Who could ask for anything more? And by Coke. A taste so refreshing, so irresistible, your only choice will be to catch it. Catch the wave. Coke.
You really want to appreciate the Coors difference. Less heavy, easy drinking. Try spending some time doing this. Oh, yeah. Coors is the one.
Last year, an independent firm surveyed over 30,000 new car owners regarding the initial quality of their cars. 143 models were ranked, representing 29 manufacturers. As you might expect, Mercedes-Benz did very well, with 2 models in the top 10. However, Toyota finished first, with 6 models in the top 10, including the first, second, third, and fourth place winners. See the winning quality for yourself at your Toyota dealers today.
From a sea of choices rises a new wave of taste so refreshing nothing else comes close. Catch the wave. Coke.
An institution with the dimension and stability of Summa Health Plan is built on one foundation: understanding the needs of those we serve. Summa Health Plan is a Valley original, born in the Valley to provide the best health care possible with no financial worry. 13 Valley hospitals, more than 400 Valley doctors. Summa Health Plan protects individuals and businesses in Fresno, Madera, and Kings counties. Summa, all the care you'll ever need.
Fresno State hoping to duplicate in the second half what they were able to in the first half to the Bobcats of Montana State. And while we have the opportunity, let's update you on a couple of scores still in progress. The Oregon Ducks up by 6 at halftime against San Jose State. And a tie between the 49ers of Long Beach down in San Diego against the Aztecs, 17-all. That's at the half. And the final that I guess we gave you earlier, New Mexico State 24 and Cal State Fullerton 21. Kevin Sweeney over on the sidelines. Those are his first half stats. Kevin Sweeney is now number 9 in the NCAA in yardage passing. He now has 8,412 career yards passing. He is number 9 in the first half. He moved past Robbie Bosco of BYU, who threw for 8,400 yards. And in the first quarter, Kevin Sweeney also became the PCAA all-time total offense career holder, passing Randall Cunningham. So we're underway here in the second half. It's brought back by Mike Reinhardt, and he goes to the 23. Tackled by James Rivera. Montana State now with the first and 10. The ball will be put down at the 22.
And it's going to be interesting to see if they've done anything to change that offensive attack, since they've got the ball for time here in the second half of play. But they were really out of it the first half, and nothing was working very well for them.
Kelly Bradley has one receiver to the left side, that is Bergman, and one to the right side in Davis. He throws, the pass is complete to Kelly Davis. Davis goes to the 31, tackled by Chris Reinhardt and John O'Leary. It's going to be a yard shy of a first down. 2nd and 1 for Montana State. Paul Soriano and John Loy Akano handling our player identifications tonight. Mitch Reinhardt handling our stats. We have a Chris Reinhardt playing for Fresno State, a Mark Reinhardt for Montana State, and a Mitch Reinhardt keeping our stats. So this is Reinhardt night in Fresno. Jethro Franklin makes the tackle on Toby Petty. And Petty is able to pick up the first down for Montana State. Ball is at the 33. In case you're just joining us on the telecast, the scoring in the first half went like this. Kevin Sweeney on a 4-yard rollout. Barry Belli, a 42-yard field goal. James Williams, a 35-yard run. And then Baker on an end around for 14 and a score. And then Williams on a 1-yard touchdown run. That pass may have been intercepted, but if so, it was intercepted out of bounds.
Well, Michael Stewart's the guy that picked it off there, but I think it was probably out of bounds. That's that little float pass that Kelly does so well and does so effectively. Let's take a look at it again. He just lofts it out there for the receiver to go up and get it, but this time the receiver had a red shirt on. It was Michael Stewart out of bounds.
2nd and 10. The line of scrimmage is the 33 of Montana State. Inside handoff. And this one nets the Bobcats about 3 yards. Copeland picking up the gain. Tackled by Reinhardt and Franklin. It'll be 3rd down and 7. Next Saturday night, the Bulldogs will be back here at Bulldog Stadium to take on Oregon State from the Pac-10. In fact, Fresno State has 8 home games this year, 8 out of the 11. Adroit scheduling by new athletic director Gary Cunningham. And Jethro Franklin pulls down the quarterback, Kelly Bradley. Actually, the scheduling was done, of course, by Jack Lingle, the athletic director who preceded Gary. Jack Lingle is now the athletic director at Missouri.
Bradley had a lot of heat put on him in the first half. Things are not getting any better the second half. Number 90, Mike Walker's been doing a lot of it, but this time it was Jethro Franklin, the defensive end.
Rod Webster will be back deep, waiting the punt of Mark Page. We'll have to check on that injury to Stephen Baker. So if Vic Jacobs, our sideline reporter, is standing by and listening, maybe you can get an update on the injury to Baker. Timeout has been called by Montana State. We are 2.5 minutes into the third quarter. Bulldogs all the way.
Today's game is brought to you in part by Pepsi-Cola San Joaquin Bottling Company. Pepsi, the choice of the new generation. And by the California Lottery. It's a good feeling for a lot of reasons.
You see that? See what? What? Nothing. So where are we going anyway? What are you asking me for?
It's your town, pal. That's my song. My tune. Hey, I'm everywhere, pal. Knock off, Glenn.
We can have a dream, baby. Two can make that dream come true. One can wish upon a star. Two can make that wish come true. But it takes two, baby. Just takes two to make a dream come true.
Easy Match, the newest scratch-off game. Match 2 like amounts and win up to $100,000 or a chance at the big spin.
It takes two, baby.
Play Easy Match.
Just takes two.
That timeout allowed Jim Sweeney to get Stephen Baker back deep, awaiting the punt of Mark Page. So whatever injury Stephen Baker had in the first half, he's okay, or at least well enough now and able enough to try to return this punt. And he is Mr. Excitement when he gets his hands on the football. High snap, the punt by Page. Good one by Page. Baker is all the way back to the 20-yard line. Stephen Baker tries to sidestep a couple of players, and the boom is lowered on him by Michael Kemp of Montana State. A 48-yard punt by Page, his best of the evening. Just a 3-yard return by Baker.
Evidently, a quick healer. Coach Sweeney said he had a slight injury there before the half, and he came out and he's ready to go.
First and 10 at the 25 for Fresno State. Quarterback is Kevin Sweeney. He throws it complete to Baker at the 32, and Baker gets a couple of more, moving up to the 34. Baker was brought down by Derek Abel. Gain of 9, Sweeney to Baker.
And Baker's got so much speed that the defensive backs for Montana State are laying way off of him. That little kind of pattern could go on and on the rest of the second half.
Jeff Truchell is back in at the offensive tackle spot, replacing Jeff Skidmore. Second and 1 at the 34. Sheds one blocker, going to reverse his field if he can. And he has to scramble and get back to the 30. So there'll be a loss of about 4 yards on that play. One of those in there on the hit is Bob Poliak. The others, Tyler Winter and Derek Abel.
Mosley's a big, tough runner there. He gets met head on
by Ron Hansen.
But he's not the kind of runner that has the quick feet and speed where he can reverse his field and pick up any yardage. He does good. He gets almost back to the line of scrimmage.
Loss of 4 on the play, so it'll be 3rd and 5 at the 30-yard line. Sweeney has time, gets it to Baker at the 36, tackled by Derek Abel, the right cornerback from Inglewood, California. They will spot the ball at the 36. That'll be enough for a first down. The Bulldogs with a 1st and 10 from their own 36.
Derek Abel, the defensive back on that one, only played about 4 to 6 yards off of Baker. But on the other side, he's getting as much as 10 yards from the defensive backs that are covering, mainly number 9, Tyler Winter.
Mosley and Williams are the running backs. Here's the pitch to James Williams, 40. He's at the 50, foot race. Williams is brought down at the 32. James Williams, a run of 32 yards.
And what a back he's been for Jim Sweeney here at Florida State University.
Good blocking there.
Look at him break the tackles there. You're going to see him pull away from another tackle in just a minute. There, somebody has him, and he steps right out of it before Tyler Winter, number 9, is finally taking him out of bounds there.
Kimball made first contact, but he really punished Kimball. And Williams, who had 7 games over 100 yards last year for Fresno State, breaks out over the century mark in his debut in '86. It's complete to Brock Smith. And Smith is tackled by Bob Kimball.
Now, this is the passing attack that Fresno State has that they didn't have in the first quarter. Kevin Sweeney was doing a lot of scrambling to get around there, but now he's finding his receivers. The timing looks a lot better, and maybe the first game jitters are over.
Ball is placed down at the 27. It's 2nd and 4. Sweeney has hit 5 passes in a row now. Kelly skipper, Anthony Mosley, the split backs. Sweeney airs it out to Baker at the 15. Knee touchdown at the 16. They blew the play dead as Stephen Baker's knee touchdown at the 16. We got another flag, a penalty marker, dropped back here at around the 32.
But while they're discussing that, we'll look at Baker here on his move. You see the knee go down right there. But he does a good job with it. Nice reception there. Good pass that time by Sweeney, too.
Penalty is going to be holding against Fresno State. Walk off of 10 yards, moving it back to the 36.
Offensive holding. Repeat 2nd down.
31-0 Fresno State. 9.5 minutes left in the third quarter. Mike Walden along with Don Perkins, the former great running back of the Dallas Cowboys. During the Cowboys' infancy. Tom Landry, first year, took over. Don helped make a name for the Cowboys in himself. Incomplete as he was going deep to Brock Smith at the 5. So that breaks Kevin Sweeney's string. He had hit 5 in a row up to that point.
Speaking of making a name for himself, that time Ron Hansen almost made a name for himself by blowing out Kevin Sweeney. Sweeney got the pass off, but Hansen gave him quite a lick. 10. Completed 10 out of 20 for 172 yards. He needs to average 211 yards per game to break Doug Flutie's all-time NCAA record.
Kevin Sweeney last year was successful on 60% of his throws. He steadily increased his percentage each year he's been at Fresno State. Kevin has time going long and deep for Gene Taylor. And Taylor couldn't catch up with the long heave. Gene Taylor sprinting down the sidelines and in toward the middle of the field. So it'll be 3rd and 14. The ball still at the 7. Just completing that thought on Kevin Sweeney and his percentage. In 1982, he appeared in only 2 games, and he hit on 1 out of 2. In 1983, 50% of his passes, 54%, 85-60%. A field goal by Barry Belli from the 44-yard line. It is good. A 54-yard field goal by Belli. That's very close to the school record of 55 yards set by Barry Belli against New Mexico State last year in Las Cruces.
Right.
Kirkwood's Design Gallery wants to help you celebrate autumn with special prices on Woodmark chairs.
This month only, save $40 on any Woodmark chair.
First value members can save an additional 10% on the purchase of an ottoman.
These beautiful Woodmark chairs come with a coil spring base, an all-wood frame, and a wide selection of fabrics to complement your home.
Come to Kirkwood's September Furniture Special today.
You won't find a better value in furniture.
That's Kirkwood's Design Gallery, Cedar Clinton, in Fresno.
Announcing an exciting new concept in business computing, a computer specifically designed to quickly adapt to the ever-changing demands of your business. One that will effectively meet your current business needs and easily grow to meet those in the future. Announcing the Computerland Business Computing System. Powerful, incredibly flexible, and backed by the world's largest computer retailer, Computerland. The Computerland BCS. When your business grows, it won't be left behind.
So far, the Bulldogs have been able to pitch a shutout here in Fresno this evening. Belli kicking up to Mark Reinhardt. He has it at the 3. Mark Reinhardt at the 10, 15. And he runs right smack dab into Darrell James, who rides him out of bounds. They'll put the ball down at the 18-yard line. A 1st and 10 for Montana State at the Bobcat 18. 9 minutes to play in this third quarter. 34-0 Fresno State. The Bulldogs are sure to be unbeaten now in 13 straight games after tonight. The only blemish on that streak is the 24-24 tie with Hawaii here in Fresno last year. Kelly Bradley rolling out to his left, completing the pass, and Kobe Petty takes it up to the 34. Coming out of that pack, showing the ball is Rod Webster, but the play had been whistled in. Be a first down for the Bobcats at the 34 on the gain of 16. The pass play from Kelly Bradley to Kobe Petty.
And probably the best-looking pass play that we've had so far from Montana State all night. A little bit of play action that time to give the quarterback, Kelly Bradley, a little bit more time. And he found his receiver.
So in another hour or so, Fresno State and Oklahoma will still be tied. The longest consecutive winning streak in college football. 9 in a row. Bradley gets it to Petty. He slips and falls at the 40-yard line. He was just starting to come upfield, and he lost his footing at the 40. Vic Jacobs, do you have something for us along the sidelines?
Yes, I do. I've just been talking to the Montana State bench, and a lot of the Bobcat players are complaining that it's getting tough to breathe out there. So they're even saying that the air is heavy. So apparently the discrepancy in temperatures from Bozeman here to Fresno is taking its effect here in the third quarter. Back to you guys in the booth.
That's right, because it was 90 degrees here in Fresno at kickoff time. It was 46 degrees in Bozeman, Montana. I can understand their complaints. Copeland carries for a couple of yards. Tackled by Jethro Franklin and Greg Ramsey. But this really is if you can logically conclude that this is a break for Montana State, they have to play Sam Houston State down in Texas next Saturday night. Sam Houston State is not in Houston. It's in Huntsville, Texas.
Huntsville. Well, they'll get acclimated by being here in Fresno.
And it's
just the warm weather.
If they think the humidity is bad in Fresno, wait till they get to Huntsville, Texas next Saturday. 34-0, Fresno State. Must be another delay game. I saw Kelly Bradley looking back in the direction of referee Mike Pereira. Illegal procedure.
Take a look at it again, see if we can see some movement down there. Oh,
yeah.
Right guard was the first one to do a little flinch.
You see that Greg Ramsey said, see, he moved. Official says, you're right.
Finger point still.
Absolutely.
Dead ball.
Ramsey, a very smart
on the
player.
Offense, third down.
Seems to be a lot of indecision on Montana State's part here offensively, but there's not a lot of movement defensively by Fresno State.
7 minutes left in the third quarter. 34-0 Bulldogs. Fresno State has scored only 3 on that field goal to 54 yards by Belli. Nice grab by Kelly Davis. And it's a first down Montana State as Davis is brought down at the 45 by Byron Nichols.
You know, Vic Jacobs was just telling us about the Montana State players being tired down there on the field. You know, they're really working very hard for all the yardage they've got. And they had more possession time in the first half. They're holding the ball a long time, but just little short gains and taking its toll on them.
One thing about Montana State, they may be outclassed here tonight, 34-0. They haven't quit. They're still in there battling. Copeland moving out in motion. Bradley throwing in the direction of Copeland. It is Chris Reinhardt and John O'Leary on the tackle as the grab was made by Kelly Davis. Davis was down, and underneath was Copeland. Newman is back into the lineup for Montana State. He's a wide receiver. Now Montana State, as you look at the stats on senior quarterback Kelly Bradley, have a first down at the Fresno State 44. 34-0 Bulldogs. Davis and Newman wide to the left side. Quarterback sneak. Bradley caught him, and Kelly Bradley moves down to the 29. Another first down. Good call by Dave Arnold, a Montana State coach. Rod Webster made the tackle.
I kind of wonder if that was a call or just an automatic something that he did on his own that time, but it was interesting. He broke it anyway.
First and 10, Montana State. First downs are close. The scoreboard is at 34-0, Fresno State. They give us to Copeland. Copeland twists his way down near the 25. At each KMPH televised Bulldogs game, an inspirational award recipient is going to be selected. $1,000 will be presented in the recipient's name to Fresno State's General Scholarship Fund. At the end of the season, the Bulldogs team member who has consistently inspired his teammates to compete at their very best will receive a $3,000 scholarship from the Central Valley Toyota dealers and be placed in his name for the General Scholarship Fund. The pitch goes to Shahan, a reserve quarterback who has been called upon to fill some running back chores tonight, and Shahan is tackled by Greg Ramsey. Sean Shahan.
I was kind of expecting to see Shahan in the lineup. We were talking last night to the Montana State coaches. There you get a good look at number 87 out there. Greg Ramsey bringing down Shahan. But they indicated that although Shahan is a quarterback, he's a good runner and might see some action because of the depleted corps of running back troops for Montana State.
Shahan, by the way, started his collegiate career at Oregon State. He's a quarterback. Timeout call by Montana State. 4.5 minutes still to be played in the third quarter. The Bulldogs way out in front.
Who's gonna be at the Silver Bullet tonight?
Give me the news. I can take it. You won, Lou. You won. You won?
Hey, they won! Right for the team!
The Bullets first win!
Everything. Tell me everything.
There's no contest.
No contest. I love it. Well, what's the score?
Wasn't even close.
Whoa, Franny, a blowout. Oh, you guys were great. Score. Come on, come on.
No contest, Luke.
The other team never showed up.
There's no slowing down with the Silver Bullet tonight.
Coors Light Beer.
In this confusing maze of car buying, there's really only one dealership, Century Ford. Century Ford, your regional Ford dealer, is the #1 Ford dealer in the Valley. A 5-star dealership with the Valley's largest selection of new cars and trucks. And during our incredible Deal of the Century sales event, you'll see the car you want at the hottest price of this century.
The payments are right, and we're open till 10 tonight.
Get a Ford car, truck, or van, day or night, during Century Ford's Deal of the Century sales event. Hurry and be there early.
Mentioning Sean Shahan, who transferred from Oregon State, a quarterback, he is ambidextrous. He throws with either hand and throws well with either hand. So we might see a pitch from Bradley to Shahan, and Shahan then maybe throwing back to Bradley or a receiver downfield.
At this point in the game, it can't hurt.
No, not at all. You're down 34-0. Try a few of those things. 2nd and 6 at the 26. Second, it's 3rd down and 6. Bradley in trouble, trying to get out. Grayson in hot pursuit. Grayson pulls him down at the 15, but the Bobcats get another first down. What a workout Kelly Bradley has had tonight.
He is getting a lot of work out. He's getting a lot of pressure put on him. Grayson did a good job that time just staying with him, but a lot of trouble breaking down around Kelly Bradley, and receivers not getting open. Offensive line not holding the protection out long enough for him either.
On defense for Fresno State, you have Greg Ramsey, Anthony Collier, Jethro Franklin, Hanneman, O'Leary, Reinhardt, Grayson, Williamson, Harris, Nichols, and Webster. 1st and 10. The ball is at the 15 of the Bulldogs. Fresno State defense hoping to keep them shut out. Here comes O'Leary right after Bradley, and Bradley completes the pass to Scott Newman down at the 3, and there is a penalty marker down. Wow, how Bradley got rid of that with O'Leary face-to-face with him, I'll never know.
And he threw a strike. Threw a strike right there to Scott Newman. We do have a flag down out there on the field, but it was a good completion. Something away from the play, though, drew the flag.
By the way, you're going to like the looks of this young man, John O'Leary. He is 6'3", an inside linebacker, 226 pounds, rated as the best junior college linebacker in California last year. Holding penalty against Fresno State. Now, watch the pressure applied by number 80, O'Leary. Right there.
Yeah. But a perfect strike thrown by Bradley, even with all that pressure.
Hey, and a good catch by Scott Newman, too. Because Williamson had him pretty well covered. Newman is a freshman who had a broken arm in the spring, and he just started contact drills up in Bozeman last week. In fact, he wears a plastic shield on his right arm. I don't know if you can pick it up on a close-up shot, but he has that plastic shield to protect the right arm, and he made quite a catch.
We have defensive holding, automatic first down.
So the automatic first down will be at the 7-yard line of Fresno State. 34-0. Closing minutes of the third quarter. Bradley. He has time. Now he does it. Jethro Franklin puts him down at the 15. He did have time to release that pass. He held it 1 second too long. And Big Jethro made a believer out of him as he dumped him at the 15.
Looked like Bradley had a little time. You're going to look at it, drop him back there. Now he thinks he has time, but there's a Franklin with a full head of steam going right after him, and Bradley did not have time to react or recover.
By the way, Jethro Franklin was a junior college All-American at San Jose City College.
First team, too.
Second and goal at the 15 of Fresno State. Bradley in trouble again. Dumps it up. No, he doesn't. He came up with that ball some way at about the 18. John O'Leary put him down. The defense has a lot of pride, and they're trying to keep the Bobcats away from a consolation score. There's the plastic note. Second too long. And Big Jethro made a believer out of him as he dumped him at the 15.
Looked like Bradley had a little time. You're going to look at it, drop him back there. Now he thinks he has time, but there's a Franklin with a full head of steam going right after him, and Bradley did not have time to react or recover.
By the way, Jethro Franklin was a junior college All-American at San Jose City College.
First team, too.
Second and goal at the 15 of Fresno State. Bradley in trouble again. Dumps it up. No, he doesn't. He came up with that ball some way at about the 18. John O'Leary put him down. The defense has a lot of pride, and they're trying to keep the Bobcats away from a consolation score. There's the plastic. No, you can't see it. That's on O'Leary. I was talking about Scott Newman, the wide receiver of Montana State. We'll get him sooner or later. Mark Olson replaces John Carriffo at nose guard for Fresno State. Third and goal at the ball now back at the 18. It was first and goal at the 7, but the defense has shoved them back to the 18. Bradley on the rollout. A grab is made and then dropped. Kelly Davis had it at the 10. Even had he been able to hold on, I don't think the pass would have held up because 1 foot back, both feet were out of bounds at the time. Brian Nichols covering for the Bulldogs.
Nichols in good shape, too. This is one of the times that Bradley did not have so much pressure put on him. Receiver couldn't get open. Nichols done a good job of covering. Almost picked it off, too.
The young man from Sweden, Anders Larsson, look how big he is at 6'5", will try a field goal from the 25. It's not going to have enough distance. They say that Larson could be another Jan Stenerud, who used to boot him for Montana State and then later in the NFL. Not like that, he's not another Jan Stenerud, but he is from Sweden. We'll grant him that. 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. 34-0 Dogs.
Beginning Monday, September 15th, MASH is moving to a new time on TV 26.
All right, you guys grab a hold of this table and get it up. Hey, can't you idiots watch where you're going?
MASH 4077 is definitely bugging out in 3 hours.
MASH Weeknights at 11, beginning September 15th on TV 26.
On the first play from scrimmage, Kevin Sweeney going long and deep for Stephen Baker. Baker has the ball. It's going to be a touchdown. A 90-yard touchdown. Kevin Sweeney to Stephen Baker.
Incredible, and I think Baker was interfered with. I think Derek Abel really made contact with him down there. Baker was able to keep his balance, though, but I think Abel pushed him. Great throw that time by Sweeney. And just great running that time by Kevin Baker. 5'9", 172 pounds. Watch him scat. You're going to see, right? Well, maybe he didn't bump him. I thought he did on the live show. But anyway, Stephen Baker, an 80-yard TD catch.
Barry Belli in to kick the extra point out of the hold of John Swinney, backup quarterback. Dugan to make the snap. Belli makes it perfect. And it's now 41-0 Fresno State, 1:55 left in the third quarter.
This fall on TV 26.
She's clean. She's kind. She's liberated. She's neat and brave. Respectful. And maybe just a smidgen overweight. She's Nell Harper. Catcher and the whole Comiskey clan on Gimme a Break.
Weeknights at 6, beginning September 15th on TV 26.
As a leader in multi-user technology, MicroAge brings you the leading multi-user systems, like this Alto system, allowing your staff to share information and resources. At MicroAge, we understand the technology of today's multi-user systems, and we understand business needs. So we can explain exactly what this technology can do for you and your office. When you're looking for a business system, come to MicroAge. We offer more than computers. We provide solutions.
Kevin Sweeney had just so-so stats in the first half, but he's had a great third quarter. Sweeney is now 11 out of 21 for 252 yards and a touchdown. Belli's kickoff will be fielded by Copeland at the goal line. Kirk Copeland at the 15, and he is ridden down hard by James Rivera. How many times have we called Rivera's name tonight? Rivera on the special teams has just been outstanding.
He has. He's done a great job. And poor Kirk Copeland, he's been trying to bring those things out, those kickoffs all night. I don't think he's gotten out to the 20-yard line yet, but he hasn't given up.
Rivera is 6'2", 195-pound junior from Bellflower, another product from Cerritos Junior College. Montana State in that last drive had 6 first downs and 64 yards, and they had a first and goal to go at the 7, and they came away empty. 41-0 Fresno State. Kelly Bradley, you got to take your hat off to him. He hasn't had many weapons to work with, but he's still in there, plug away. Not quite like it was in 1984 when Bradley came in here with Montana State and beat the Bulldogs. But then again, Fresno State is not like the Bulldog team of '84. Inside handoff to Tyler Huber. He's bumped down at the 20, giving the progress to the 21. Anthony Collier, a 240-pounder, a senior from Los Angeles, on the hit. 90 Todd back in for Montana State.
Notice Montana State has quit going without going the huddle, and they've gone back to using the huddle for all of their offensive plays.
It's 2nd and 8, Montana State, the ball at the 21. Huber moving out. A little swing pass to Eric Miller. He's at the 25. And run out of bounds around the 33 or 34. On the play, the Fresno State secondary. Thomas Ireland, one of those, helping him out of bounds. 41-0, Fresno State. A minute to go in the third quarter. Thomas Ireland goes way wide to the left side. And Bradley is rolling out in that direction. Wilkerson missed him. He gets a pass off to Shahan to the 40. Shahan up to the 50. And Shahan is brought down by Darrell James.
Looked like there was a little confusion on that play when they started out. Everybody was running into everybody else. We're looking at Shahan there, the quarterback, who has been pressed into duty as a running back. Came up with a good reception on that one.
Ball is in Fresno State territory at the Bulldog 49. FSU 41, Montana State nothing. Inside handoff to Sean Shahan, and he is dropped for a loss of a yard at the 50. John O'Leary, 226-pound junior inside linebacker, made the hit and gets a congratulatory pat from Wilkerson. Bradley has thrown 6 completions in his last 6 attempts. Terry Duncan wide to the right side. And Bradley is walking away from the line of scrimmage. He wants to talk things over with head coach Dave Arnold. So that'll give us a chance to bring in Vic Jacobs.
Thank you, Mike. We're down here with former Fresno State great Henry Ellett. Henry, tell me, how are your negotiations going with the Los Angeles Rams?
Well, right now they're at a standstill, so there's not much being said. I guess they're going to wait until after the St. Louis game before they attempt to do anything to see if anybody get hurt or anything like that. So, but as far as right now, they're at a standstill.
And Henry, please compare you and Stephon Page. Okay, you and Stephon Page. I can't get this question. We're going to go to a commercial after this.
Your San Joaquin Valley Cadillac dealer invites you to test drive the 1986 Eldorado.
How do you like it, Mr. Miller?
Handles great.
Transverse mounted V8 with front wheel drive.
It's really firm in the corners.
World-class suspension. Wow. Mr. Miller, we're a long way from the showroom.
You said test drive?
The 86 Eldorado at your San Joaquin Valley Cadillac dealer.
Thanks for the order.
It was my wife's idea.
Timing's everything. They're counting on you to deliver the best because you are the best. I want it good, I want it hot, and I want it fast. 30 minutes or less. Remember, the team, the team, the team. Now get out there and deliver.
Let's go! Domino's Pizza delivers.
To me, from Shumba, no problem.
The score after 3 quarters of play here tonight, and the 4th and final stanza about to unfold. Montana State with the ball at the 50-yard line, 2nd and 11 as you look at the stats after 3 quarters of play. 200-yard edge there for Fresno State in total yards. Craig Atade and Thomas Ireland collaborating on the tackle.
Bootleg that time by Kelly Bradley. He wasn't looking for it to throw it at all. It was a run all the way. Why he would do that kind of a thing at this stage of the game is beyond me, but the passing game has not really been effective, so maybe I should say why not.
3rd down and 10 now, 49 of Fresno State. Secondary for the Bulldogs, Greg Williamson, Tony Harris, Darrell James, and Rod Webster. 2 wide receivers to the right for Kelly Bradley. Bradley rolling out, trying to throw to Davis. Davis has the ball at the 40. Kelly Davis, a senior from Butte, Montana. Davis making the grab, and Michael Stewart running him out of bounds at the 40. That's a gain of 9, not enough for a first down, so what do you do now? You might as well go for it. 4th and 1, you're down 41-0.
And it looks like that's the decision. None of the offensive players are coming off the field.
quarterback sneak, I always think, is beneficial at this point.
Hey, look, he pulled one off earlier and went for one of the best running plays of the night for Montana State. So, who knows?
Thomas Ireland is back in for Fresno State, going out deep with one of the wide receivers. 4th and 1 at the 40. Bradley hands it off to Miller, and he's got the first down. Miller gets it down to the 39, and the first down for the Bobcats.
And no wonder they're feeling the heat from being here in Fresno tonight. Not only is it that much cooler back in Bozeman, Montana, but they've been out there an awful long time and not scoring any points.
Actually, it's rather pleasant in Fresno at this hour. It's probably around 80 degrees or so. Not bad. 1st and 10. I had a game last year back in the East, Penn State and Maryland. The temperature was 102 and the humidity was 72. Here comes Tyler Huber. Penalty marker dropped as Tyler Huber goes to the 36. Jay Wilkerson and Mike Walker. That was really tough. In fact, it got so bad, they had to bring in some ice with huge fans in back of the stands. Fans were passing out. That was back in College Park, Maryland last year.
Mike, you wouldn't make this up on me, would you?
I would not.
Okay. There it is. Temperature.
It's now 78
degrees.
Let's check you up on some scores here. Long Beach State. The 49ers leading San Diego State.
On the defense, first down, timeout, red.
Well, red would mean timeout Fresno State. We're just underway here in the 4th quarter. We played about a minute and 15 seconds. The Bulldogs en route to a victory here in the opening game of season.
Weather 102, KFRE FM with the 12 in a row promise.
The factory authorized clearance sale. The Dodge boys are eager to move their inventory of 86 imports now. So the factory has authorized attractive incentives on almost every new import on the lot. Buy a Dodge Colt and you'll get 5.5 financing from the Dodge boys. Buy a tough Dodge Ram 50 pickup and you'll get 5.6 financing. Plus, the Dodge boys are ready to offer great deals on their exciting Dodge Conquest and very versatile Dodge Vista.
Get as low as 5.5 APR on selected imports now only at your Northern California Dodge dealer.
In this whole wide world, there's one spectacular taste you just can't pass up. Pepsi, the choice of a new generation.
And for great Pepsi taste without caffeine, there's Pepsi Free, the caffeine-free choice of a new generation.
The Bulldogs have been just that fierce and menacing to Montana State tonight. Scoreboard reflects that. San Jose State leading the Oregon Ducks by 1 after 3 quarters of play. Tyler Huber in motion. Kelly Bradley looking for somebody open. Pass was underthrown. Davis tried to scoop it up, but the ball bounced in front of him. One more score to pass along. Wow, the Arizona Wildcats 37-3 late in the game in Tucson, Arizona.
Things are tough all over out in that oil country, aren't they?
Well, things are tough all over for the Cats tonight. Or at least the Cats of Montana State, not the Cats of Arizona State, the Wildcats, that is. Kelly Davis wide to the right. Ball is at the 34. And off to Miller, and he's tripped up. Who got the hand in there to bring him down?
I'm not sure he didn't trip over one of his own men that time. He went down there kind of cleanly, and I didn't see a red shirt around him.
Might have been O'Leary, or it could have been Ramsey. I just saw one big hand go out there and kind of pull him down at the 35.
Take a look at it again. There he goes in. I don't know. It might have been that white chalk line there.
Yeah, I think so.
To get over it.
The hand was there, but the hand was swifter than the eye. 41-0, Bulldogs. Dave Basalto is back in at nose guard on defense. Bradley's pass caught by Miller, and then Miller is dropped and he loses his helmet, but he didn't lose the ball. He was able to hold on to that. at the 24. A first down for Montana State. John O'Leary made the hit.
Well, Eric Miller hung on to the ball, lost his hat. Bad things can happen when you lose your hat out there on the field, but he came up with it okay. Good lick that time.
You could see in the replay he really didn't have possession of that ball. He kind of had one hand on the top and one on the bottom trying to squeeze it to his chest. First down, Montana State at the 24 of Fresno State. Fourth quarter action. We're 2.5 minutes into it. Bradley falls down, and then Jethro Franklin makes sure he doesn't go any further. This young man, Jethro Franklin, was born in France when his father was in the Army. Not only was he recruited by USC, also Illinois, Hawaii, and UNLV.
Not a bad night either. 7 quarterback sacks.
Not for Jethro Franklin, I don't think. Is that right, Mitch? Jethro Franklin doesn't have 7 sacks. The team, that's what I thought, yes. He's been outstanding, but that would be superlative. Here is Kelly Bradley. He's going to go long and deep if he can. Penalty marker as he's throwing to Davis. And who comes up with the ball? Rod Webster. And a penalty marker is dropped. Davis is rolling around in the end zone. He was hurt as he tried to get that long throw from Kelly Bradley.
Okay, there's Bradley with a rocket launcher. And there you see number 18, Davis, going up in the air. And he's got a little pressure there from Thomas Ireland.
And Rod Webster happened to be in the
out with the wall.
Right spot at the right time.
You're the captain? Okay, well, take him 15 yards and launch it down back there, or your ball here. We want the ball.
You probably heard that little exchange there between Greg Ramsey, one of the captains tonight for Fresno State, and the referee. We want the ball. So it was an interference ruling against number 18 of Montana State, Kelly Davis. Davis, they're still working on him.
They're still working on him. He paid the price for that interference call.
Montana State has threatened several times tonight, but that Fresno State defense has been able to slam the door. Fresno State will have a first down. The ball in between the 3 and the 4. 41-0, Bulldogs. Fresno State got off and running with 17 first quarter points. Score at halftime was 31-0. Now it's 41-0. And the Bulldogs will have a first down. Taylor comes out wide to the right side. He's going for Taylor. Puts it up there. Taylor stretches up those fingertips. Couldn't quite bring it in.
Mike, I think I have this figured out. See, Kevin Sweeney needs to average 211 yards per game to break Doug Flutie's record. So this is kind of a nice night to go for a bunch of it. He's going to get 422 tonight. He can take next week, kind of more.
At last report, I had Kevin Sweeney down for 252 yards, and that's still at 252. And we have 12 minutes remaining in this game. Again, Taylor is wide right. Dean Collins is a running back along with Kelly Skipper now. Again, Sweeney's going to try to fire from the end zone. He's going to be pulled down. Sweeney is nailed in the end zone for a safety, and Montana State threatening to score, missing on field goal touchdown opportunities. Finally get on the board with a safety. It was number 99, Tom Jacobs, who makes the hit on Sweeney in the end zone.
He came in there pretty clean that time. By the time Kevin Sweeney saw him, he had a full head of steam going, and Sweeney did not have time to recover and get away from him.
That big guy, Jacobs, bench presses 425 pounds. Giant of a man at 6'4" and 255. And that'll make the score Fresno State 41, Montana State 2.
And, Mike, I've noticed that some of the receivers now, the defensive backs, are playing at least 10 yards off of Baker.
Now, Fresno State will put the ball in play with a free kick from the 20, and it will be Barry Belli, who will boot this from the 20. Belli normally is the place kicker, but he also is a good punter. They just don't want Belli to do the place kicking chores and kicking off and the punting. But from the 20, he's not going to have a rush. He might boom one out about 50 yards or so.
Kid really has a strong leg. He scored 100 points last year and even 100 points, I believe.
He's had at least one field goal in 14 straight games. That was a span over the 84-85 season. And now we're going to see what he can punt here. No, he's not going to punt it. Going to kick it off. By the way, since he is putting it up on the tee, Jim Sweeney said that in practice Thursday night, Barry Belli kicked two 67-yard field goals. Now, that was in practice.
So what kind of shoe is that?
Soccer shoe.
Okay.
And he drives this one down to the 29. It's Eric Miller, and he's up to around the 45-yard line. So now Montana State, since they are on the scoreboard now after the 60, 41-2, will have a first down from the 45. Next Saturday night, it'll be Oregon State of the Pac-10. It'll be the opener for the Oregon State Beavers. They will be here to face Fresno State. Last year, the Bulldogs went up to Corvallis and whipped the Beavers 33-24. Beavers have won 3 straight up to that point. Now the play has been blown dead back at the 40. The new quarterback for Montana State is Kelly Sherwin. He's been charting those plays over there on the clipboard, but now it's a little different being on the sidelines and out there facing the fire.
Jethro Franklin doesn't care who's in there at quarterback. He goes for all of them. That time, number 13 is in there replacing Kelly Bradley. Kelly Sherwin.
Anybody here seen Kelly? Got a lot of them on there. Montana State roster. Kelly Davis, Kelly Bradley, now Kelly Sherwin. Sherwin throw. Oh, too bad for Sherwin. He hit Petty right over the shoulder with a beautiful pass, and it popped off of his shoulder pads.
Reinhardt the defender that time, but he was out of position. Kelly Sherwin did in 85, 52 completions and 102 attempts, 7 interceptions, 478 yards.
But no TD. Yes, that's right.
No score.
Look ahead to the Fresno State schedule after Oregon State next Saturday. September the 20th is an open date, and then the 27th, Louisiana Tech from Ruston, Louisiana will be in town. Sherwin pulling straight back. And that one was over the head of Terry Duncan. Then the first road game of the year for the Bulldogs will be October the 4th at San Jose State. That'll be an afternoon game. Then the team from New Mexico State will move in, the Aggies, on October the 11th here in Fresno. UOP October 18th. Long Beach the 25th of October. And Fullerton on October the 30th. That'll be a Thursday night game. Give you the rest of the Fresno State schedule following this punt by Mark Page. Stephen Baker awaiting the punt. Baker has the ball at the 16. Looking for a lane. Goes to the outside. Look out. 40. 50. It's all over, folks. A foot race. Nobody is going to win this except Stephen Baker. The touchdown. Baker does it again. 84 yards. Returning a punt of 44 by Page. 84 yards, Stephen Baker.
Stephen Baker, the touchdown maker.
The little guy is simply amazing.
Good wall set up that time, too, by the Fresno State team on that return. They had a wall set up, and number 7, Mark Page, the kicker, was the only guy that really had a shot at
him. And he didn't.
And Baker put such a move on him, it was no contest.
Baker could spot him 15 yards and beat him in the 100-yard dash.
Well,
maybe the 60.
Yeah.
Here's Belli on the extra point attempt. It's now 48-2, Fresno State. But, folks, listen to what sort of a night Stephen Baker is having. He has scored on a touchdown run. He has caught a touchdown pass, and he just returned this one 84 yards. A punt return for a touchdown.
Taco Bell's combination platter doesn't have salad and Spanish rice. At Jack in the Box, the taco salad doesn't have fresh avocado and real sour cream. Burger King doesn't have tacos with their taco sauce. Speedy's Zapatos does. Come in and enjoy authentic Mexican food at any one of our Valley locations. And kids, pick up your back-to-school Speedy's Zapato t-shirt for only $2.99. And remember, Speedy's Zapatos does.
Mark your calendar for something exciting. Fantastic Sam's will soon be Saturday's family hair care. And Saturdays is fantastic every day of the week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturdays. You don't need an appointment for great perms, cuts, style. You'll get the same high-quality, affordable family hair care you've come to expect from Fantastic Sam's, but with a special spirit, the Saturday spirit, at these former Fantastic Sam's locations.
Barry Belli will kick off. And it'll be Kirk Copeland and Mark Reinhardt deep for Montana State. Reinhardt at the 2. Up to the 10. Reinhardt to the 20. Down he goes at the 22. Good coverage on that kickoff return. The tackle made by Jay Wilkerson with help from Fred Wilburn. Stephen Baker. That crowd still buzzing about that little guy. The last 2 times Baker has touched a ball, he has gone 80 yards on a touchdown reception from Kevin Sweeney, 84 yards for a touchdown on a punt return. How's that in one game? 28-2, Fresno State. John Carriffo with the nose guard. Mike Walker, a tackle on defense along with Jethro Franklin. Sherwin throwing, and was he trying to get rid of that ball in a hurry? I don't think the ball had just left the center's hands when he was throwing.
He had a red shirt right in his face, and he had to throw it around his head. He kind of wound his arm around his head so he could get it out there in the flat.
One thing about Fresno State, the Bulldogs always do well in openers. They have won 11 out of their last 12, and that includes the game tonight. 10 minutes and 26 seconds left, 48-2, Bulldogs. Sherwin, the second quarterback, unloads this one, and he completes it to Duncan, Terry Duncan, who was twisted down by Darrell James. And we get another yellow hanky tossed onto the green grass at Bulldog Stadium. James has played well tonight as a DB, 5'11", a junior, 175 from San Diego. Transferred into Fresno State from San Diego Mesa Junior College. Penalty against the Bulldogs.
Somebody had a face mask. Maybe James had the face mask on that tackle.
Incidental face mask against the defense. First down.
When he says incidental, it means a 5-yard penalty.
No, it also means he didn't mean it.
It still means 5 yards. Otherwise, it's 15. So you go to jail for 5 or 15.
Yeah, all right.
Ball is at the 35. Sherwin, a rifle throw. Interception at the 45, almost. Tony Harris tried to scoop it up, but the officials ruled that he short-hopped it.
That's the longest pass attempt I've even seen, I think, all night by Montana State.
And Sherwin from Cut Bank, Montana, really cut loose with that one.
That did. Overshot his man there and almost into the hands of Harris, but he trapped it.
Ball is at the 35. Second and 10, Montana State. Craig Atade is in there for Franklin at a defensive tackle spot. Nothing doing on that play for Montana State. Here is Vic Jacobs on the sidelines.
Okay, we got a report on that soccer shoe. I know you were very interested in that up there in the booth. It's looks like a soccer shoe that Barry Belli had. It's black, it's very worn, and it seems he's been using it for a number of years. Ken Johnson, our shoe investigator from Fresno State, gave us that info. And back to you in the booth.
Wait a minute. Ken Johnson, our shoe investigator. Channel 26 goes to no lengths to give you the very latest. Even a shoe investigator.
Way to go, Vic. I think you made that up.
I got a boot out of it. 48-2 is the score. Fresno State. Here comes Eric Miller. Miller comes up to the 39. Mike Walker on the tackle. Let's just give you a rundown on that Fresno State schedule. I got down as far as Fullerton on Thursday night, October the 6th. November the 6th, the following Thursday, the Bulldogs are over at UNLV. November the 15th at Hawaii. And the windup is November the 22nd, Utah State. And they're hoping for a 12th game in December, the Cal Bowl. Rod Webster awaiting the punt from Mark Hayes. Webster is all the way back to his 25. Webster fields this one at the 22. And he's tried to get a little running room, lost his footing. And Tony Harris is into it with one of the players from Montana State. It's Ken Lang, a linebacker. And a penalty marker is dropped. And the officials will try to sort this one out. They will spot the ball around the 34-yard line. 8.5 minutes left in the game. 48-2 Fresno State.
Michael Stewart right there getting an interpretation from the officials.
And he will pass it along to us. Mike Pereira, if you would, please. Dead ball, personal foul against Fresno State, and an ejection. I'm trying to read lips here because for some reason he didn't turn on the microphone. No wonder we didn't. Let's see, we'll try it again. Or maybe that's it. Anyway, we had two penalties on the play. The dead ball was the personal foul against Fresno State. You can see how the Bulldogs have dominated. Good balanced scoring in each quarter. And the only score for Montana State registered by defensive tackle Tom Jacobs.
On the return,
yes.
That's a live ball flip.
All right. The only score by Montana State on the tackle by Tom Jacobs of Kevin Sweeney in the end zone for a safety. 48-2, Bulldogs. Dean Collins is one of the running backs. Rich Bartlesky is a tight end now for Fresno State.
That is a dead ball foul. Personal foul on the red. Player is ejected.
Is that the second player? We had one ejected a while ago. Now apparently we've lost two. I'm not sure if Tony Harris was kicked out. It could have been. He was involved in that fracas. I don't know what player was just ejected. Now the referee, Mark Pereira, has gone over to explain it to the Fresno State coaching staff. There's Sweeney. I think that was the second player, if I interpret the referee correctly. Anyway, it's a first down for Fresno State. The game actually was decided in the first quarter when the Bulldogs scored 17 points. And Montana State has had a difficult time on offense tonight because of that Bulldog defense. Sweeney, he's going to go all the way if he can. James Williams, the receiver, catches the ball. Penalty marker dropped.
Yeah, definitely defensive pass interference that time.
The freshman from Coalinga, James Williams. And he can fly.
He can. There's Kevin Sweeney dropping back. You're going to see number 9, Tyler Winder there, trying to cover Williams. And right there, Williams has him beat. He just goes in on him.
You know what I would like to see? A foot race between James Williams and Stephen Baker.
That might be something to see. And why not throw number 1 in there, Gene Taylor, also, the guy with the 4 or 5 speed.
And maybe number 82, who's in there now, Ron Jenkins.
We have defensive pass interference, automatic first down.
In the olden days, like 3 years ago, they would have given a first down to Fresno State at the
way
spot
out
of the ball.
At the spot, yeah.
But now, the rule of the last 2 years, a first down and 15 yards. Pass to Dean Collins. To the 30. Collins out of bounds at the 40-yard line. Collins is a junior in eligibility, and he's a transfer from Boise State.
He's one of the guys that Jim Sweeney was talking about. He said, I've got so many backs that I can be 3 deep in almost any position.
You know what?
What a luxury.
Dean Collins did in 2 years at Dos Palos High School. 3,800 yards, 48 touchdowns. That's like Don Perkins at the University of New Mexico.
Back in my high school days, we used to do things like that every year. You know.
It took Collins 2 years to do that.
Personal foul on the defense, automatic first down.
Well, another personal foul. We've had a total of 20 penalties in all, totaling 172 yards.
Frustration now showing on the part of the Montana State players.
Over 8 minutes left. Sweeney going long and deep. Williams is bumped again, and the penalty marker is down.
Flag, right.
Absolutely. He was bumped by Kevin Kerwin. I guess the feeling is, why not get the pass interference? Don't give him the touchdown.
They can't stop him.
If your man is beaten, just give him a little push.
Montana State does not have the speed to stop Fresno State, and they're not playing back deep enough.
All right. You don't get hit with a 60-yard bomb. Instead, you get a first down and a 15-yard penalty.
That's what your opponent will get.
Take a look at it again. There's Kevin Sweeney airing it out.
You can see Kerwin give him a little push right there.
Williams down there, he had him beat. Kerwin already.
Now it's going to go the other way. Apparently, Williams jumped first.
Interference, loss of down penalty, second down.
Whoa. Well, whatever.
It's 48-2.
Yeah.
Fresno State. I didn't see the interference by Williams, but you did see the interference by Kerwin. Now the ball goes back to the 40-yard line of Fresno State. It'll be second down, 25. Sweeney will unload this time. Brock Smith, he's got it.
He's got it.
Touchdown, Fresno State. Brock Smith stepped right in front of Derek Abel and made that grab.
Mike, the incredible thing about that is there's a flag out there on the field, so this one probably is going to be brought back too, but all of the Montana State defensive backs are playing 10 to 12 yards deep and retreating on the snap of the ball. Take a look at it again. Kevin Sweeney, he just put everything he had on this with number 2, Brock Smith. You're going to see him right there go in on number 1. Derek Abel comes up with the catch, goes in for it, and evidently the penalty was against Montana State.
That touchdown will hold up a 60-yard touchdown throw from Kevin Sweeney to Brock Smith. So you've got Gene Taylor, Stephen Baker, you've got James Williams, you have Brock Smith, Ron Jenkins. Wow. I mean, those guys can really get out of there and fly.
James Williams, only a freshman.
Barry Belli out of the hole of guns winning. And another point is tacked up on the scoreboard. It's now Fresno State 55, Montana State 2.
You know, it kind of makes you wonder. I mean, why does Coors develop their own special boiler? Have their own fleet of refrigerated trucks? They even designed and built their own malt house. Well, there's a saying. When you want it done right, do it yourself. This is right.
Everybody wants a trouble-free car, but these trouble spots can affect your vehicle and the cost to maintain it. Toyota owners tell a different story. Every year, the leading consumer magazine compares vehicle repairs from almost 500,000 owners. Once again, owners of Toyota, cars, trucks, and vans reported the fewest repairs, making them the most trouble-free. Better than Nissan, Honda, Chevy. Get more trouble-free driving at your Toyota dealer now. Who can ask for anything more?
Kevin Sweeney takes a great leap in his effort to become #1 all-time NCAA passing yard leader. He had to average 211 yards per game. He's well over that tonight. 2 touchdown throws. Kurt Copeland decides not to run it out. Wise decision by Copeland. 8 minutes left. And Kevin Sweeney now has 53 touchdown passes in his Fresno State career. Going to be tough to pick a MVP for the Toyota dealers in the game, right?
Oh, wow. We've had a lot of big plays here this evening.
Certainly. Stephen Baker has been just outstanding. Kevin Sweeney was 7 out of 16 at the half. Has had a very excellent second half.
And Jethro Franklin, defensive end, done a good job.
Don't forget, James Williams has rushed for over 100 yards. And the beat goes on and on. John Shahan, down he goes at the 15, nailed by Mike Walker.
And that's a name we've mentioned a lot tonight, too. Number 90, Mike Walker.
Brian Greer had his moments. Jim Rivera, the special teams. James Williams, the receiver. James Williams, the ball carrier.
Okay. Walden, stop.
Right with 55-2. Fresno State, 7.5 minutes left. All right, Sherwin is going to air it out, and this one is batted away. It was Michael Stewart knocking that ball away from Mark Paffhausen. Penalty marker down. The penalty will be against Montana State.
Yep, thrown in their backfield there, probably holding. Get another look at it from the ground level. See the pass there being thrown by Sherwin. Going to see the attempt there by Paffhausen. The defensive man Stewart right in the area. But the infraction is back downfield, declined.
Next Saturday, it'll be Oregon State, led by quarterback Eric Wilhelm. I remember Wilhelm against Fresno State last year. Wilhelm, he really threw the ball a lot, 51 times. And he completed 28 out of 51 for 2 touchdowns. But he had 4 interceptions. Penalty markers again all over as the ball is snapped. This may be the largest margin of victory by a Fresno State in a home opener. The last big home opening win for the Bulldogs was back in 1978, 55-14 over Weber State. And in 1965, we're going back that far.
Dead ball, false start on the offense, 3rd down.
Fresno State 55-0 over Washburn. That was back in 65. As it stands now, it'll be the biggest opening win for the Bulldogs in 78. Sherwin steps up, tries to push out of there, and he couldn't do it. Brought down at the 10. Atade was in there. Rivera. Let's see who made first contact. It could very well have been Atade. So once again, Mark Page will have to punt, this time from his end zone. Rod Webster awaiting the punt at the 46 of Montana State. 6 minutes and 40 seconds left. This one will back Webster up to the 43. Webster trying to get some blocking help. And he loses his footing over at the 41, and down he goes.
And down goes another piece of laundry. Got a flag on the play.
It could have been against Kurt Timmer, a linebacker. 6 minutes and 23 seconds left. The Bulldogs 55, Montana State 2. Personal foul against the Bobcats. And we're going to have a new quarterback for Fresno State, Eric Buchel.
Let's take a look at it, see if we see.
right, there's the slip, and then a late hit by Timmer.
Yeah.
It almost looked like they could have called clipping against
earlier.
Fresno
Yeah, I
State.
wasn't
Dead
sure
ball
when it was
foul. Late hit on return. First down.
Sifting back through the record book, in 1942, the Bulldogs beat Whittier 51-0. Bushell is throwing out here for Jenkins down to the 26. Eric Bushell, highly regarded redshirt freshman, went to Servite High School. He's from Fullerton. Bushell is 6'2", 185. And in 2 years at Servite High School, Bushell passed for 27 touchdowns. His brother Steve is a third baseman with the Texas Rangers, who still hope some way, somehow, to overtake the California Angels. It's going to take some doing now. It is Kelly Skipper. Kelly Skipper to the 24. Skipper has been quiet tonight, but the Bulldogs haven't needed Kelly Skipper.
Haven't really needed him, no. Great blocking that time by all the red shirts there for Fresno State. Good block downfield by number 82, who was leading that, Ron Jenkins, the flanker. Those guys normally don't block anybody.
He's averaging about 15 yards a carry, but he's been called upon only 3 times. Eric Bushell wins this one out. The grab is made by James Williams down to the 12-yard line of Montana State.
That's the young freshman that Coach Jim Sweeney is so high on. He says he's going to be a great one.
I'm sure Jim is pleased with the scoreboard results, 55-2. Probably the most pleased that he's been able to see so many of his personnel get some battle experience. After all, they've been hammered against each other for over 3 weeks. But this is game competition. Tom Jacobs makes the sack of Bushell back at the 20. I don't know if that was a signal to the bench. Did you notice Bushell patting his right hand on the top of his helmet? A signal of some sort, perhaps. 55-2, Fresno State. 5 minutes left in this one. Out of the I formation. The pitch goes to Kelly Skipper. Here comes James Williams on the end around. That's James Williams, the receiver, not James Williams, the ball carrier. Although this is the freshman James Williams. And on the reverse, he is brought down by Tom Jacobs at the 21 with help from Ron Hansen.
This stage of the game, reverses really don't work that well, Mike, because the people aren't fresh, and they aren't fresh enough to pursue like they would early in the game.
Did you notice the insignia on the back of Williams' uniform, J.D. Williams? Well, his brother David Williams was here a couple of years ago. Bushell swings it out to Kelly Skipper. 20. Kelly Skipper with a good move at the 15. Then he's pulled down by Derek Abel, and Abel was hit by his own man, Skip Halverson. Halverson was coming over to help out, and he took Abel right out of the field. 55-2, Fresno State. And the ball is at the 14. So it'll be 4th down and 12 now for Fresno State. Bushell at quarterback, Dean Collins and Kelly Skipper as the running backs. The pitch to Skipper. Up to the right side, fumbles the ball, and it's recovered by Montana State at the 19. Covering that play was Bob Riley for Montana State. The Bobcats will get another chance on offense, taking over at the 19.
I was kind of wondering, Mike, what kind of play you have on that, because I don't know any 4th and 11 running plays. I never heard of one even. But anyway, that time it was the run and fumble, and Kelly Skipper did that, and Bob Riley picked it up.
Quarterback is Kelly Sherwin, 6'3", 185. Throws a hard ball. He has 2 wide receivers to the right side. He sets up, tries to twist away, but he's down at the 16. Jeff Swinning playing a little bit on defense, a tight end offensively, but a little defensive play. I beg your pardon, it's Dave Basalto. He's number 99. Swinning is 89. So it's Basalto who made the tackle. 3:45 left. Terry Duncan comes out to the right side. In the slot to the left is Tyler Huber. The quarterback, Kelly Sherwood. Line of scrimmage now will be the 16. So the Bulldogs and Oklahoma will have the longest consecutive game-winning streaks in college football in another 15 minutes. Oklahoma did a number today on UCLA in Norman, and the Bulldogs with a lopsided 55-2 win over Montana State with 3 minutes left. Sherwin across the middle, and Bull braced the tight end, couldn't handle it. He might have heard some footsteps because he was open and the pass was well thrown.
There's a look at Grace, who could not quite get the handle on that one. It was a little bit behind him, but a catchable ball.
Our thanks to Director Howard Zuckerman tonight, Douglas Freeman in the truck, Brian Shannon, Jerry Cole, and all of those helping out up here in the booth, Mitch Reinhardt, John Boy Acamo, Paul Soriano, and Don Perkins, who tomorrow will be back in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Out the land of enchantment.
Takes a good Montana State roll. Rolls dead at the 29. And guess what? We have another penalty marker. Yep.
Yeah, these are temper penalties coming up now. They're not carelessness on anybody's part. They're just people that are kind of frustrated at the way the game has gone, and those frustrated players, for the most part, are on Montana State's side.
Here's Mike Pereira.
We have offsetting penalties. The face mask on the kicking team, personal foul on the receiving team, offset, replay the down.
Okay, so they'll start all over again. Line of scrimmage was the 16, and Page will have to punt it all over again. Quite often, the last 2 or 3 minutes of a laugher like this takes a long time to play. The crowd tonight was 34,512, a record crowd at Bulldog Stadium. Probably no more than half of them still left. All of the rest are headed for an early exit. The parking lots were jammed, and the tailgating parties were well underway 3 hours before game time.
They were having a good old time.
This will be the 9th Montana punt in the game by Mark Page. Rod Webster standing near midfield. Webster fields it at the 50. Going to retreat. 10 yards, 15 yards, 20 yards. This way, Rod. He finds the hole. And for the 17,000 or so still here, a drill by Rod Webster, who retreated 20 yards and then got the ball back to the 40. He had to traverse about 50 yards in all.
He did. There he is, reverses field, trying to get behind that wall. The Bulldogs have been doing very good at setting up the wall for the punt return men. They really did a job for Stephen Baker, although Stephen Baker doesn't need that much help. But Rod Webster got some good help then, too, on the return.
On the replay, I was trying to pick up some of the blocks. I did note the one by Byron Nichols. He unloaded. So we've got a timeout with 2 minutes and 23 seconds left in this one.
From a sea of choices rises a new wave of taste so refreshing nothing else comes close. Catch the wave. Coke.
One can have a dream, baby. Two can make the dream come true. One can wish upon a star. Two can make that wish come true. But it takes two, baby. Just to make a dream come true.
Easy Match, the newest scratch-off game. Match 2 like amounts and win up to $100,000 or a chance at the big spin.
It takes two, baby.
Play Easy Match.
It takes two.
All right, Don Perkins, I'm going to put this question to you. 55-2. The game never has been in doubt since the first quarter. What's this likely to do for Fresno State as you look down the road with 10 more games left and maybe an 11th if they get into a bowl game?
These guys are mature. They know that they were the better ball club out here tonight.
Ron Sims takes the pass from Buchel. Ron Sims to the 31.
They'll be able to play the game against Oregon State.
How much does this, I'm sure of that, but how much does this help Fresno State against an outclassed opponent?
I think it helps them work on their own timing, which they did not have out here early in the game. And I think it's just another big scrimmage kind of contest for them where they can hone up on their skills.
Dave Craigthorpe and Oregon State will be in here next Saturday night. Kickoff time at 7 o'clock. It's Ron Sims again. Sims goes down to the 27. Derek Abel on the tackle. Ron Sims has been around, but he hasn't played all of that much for Fresno State. We have a minute and 40 seconds left. Sims is 5'10", 203-pound junior from Miami, Florida. Number 20, Ron Sims. Eric Buchel. Completed pass to James Williams. No, it's Chris Leonard. Leonard made the catch. Leonard goes down to the 9. And it'll be first and goal to go. Fresno State with that much time left. Kelly Brooks, tackled by Michael Kemp. Brooks is a freshman from La Mirada. A year ago this time, his senior year in high school at La Mirada, he was scoring 26 touchdowns, rushing for over 2,000 yards. Kelly Brooks. In the words of Jim Sweeney, Kelly Brooks will be an impact player. 30 seconds left. Ron Sims. Sims. Down to the 2. Tackle is made by Bob Riley.
It's amazing because the Bulldogs are really just trying to run out the clock, and they're about to score again. Bob Riley made the stop. You're looking at the time there.
Ron Sims has ever scored a touchdown for Fresno State, and I know that man would like to see Sims get in the end zone. 5 seconds left. It's Sims. Did he make it? No signal yet. Apparently he did not. And time will run out. Clock shows the game is all over. And I don't see any penalty flags, so the game is over. And Sims didn't score, but that's about the only disappointment for Jim Sweeney tonight. Fresno State 55, Montana State 2. We'll be back with some comments from the head man at FSU.
Who's gonna be at